Evening all, how are we? Welcome back to the final whistle then for another stream on the channel, and welcome to the late night whistle. Yesterday we didn't do one. We have done two watch alongs today. We have kept ourselves quite busy on the channel, interacting here and there, watching Leicester's two pre-season games, and yeah, one win, one lose for the Foxes in pre-season. We are going to talk about Stefan Ortega's interest, pre-season report. We're going to go through the pre-season so far, what's excited us, which players we think's done well. We're going to talk about the 25-26 home kit release as well. We've got a lot to discuss on this show. So get ready, get involved, and let's chat Leicester City. Ray, how are we, mate? I hope you're good. Evening all. Couldn't make it up for 5 a.m. this morning, so someone is going to have to convince me that Patson Daka scored 2 goals. Well, he did score 2 goals. One penalty, one normal goal. I mean, the second one I thought he took very well, to be fair. But Bilal El-Khanous was very much a key part of the second goal. And, yeah, I thought he did all right, to be fair. Bilal, a very good ball. The player tried taking him down. And, yeah, I thought he did all right. Give me a second. I'm just going to write down one of the subjects. But yeah, 2 pre-season games today against Lviv and FC Köln. Hey Jack, how you doing? Ortega interesting. Leicester, I did not know about that, but it's a strange one, to be fair. Leicester have got to sort out these situations, aren't they, quite quickly regarding the goalkeeper, transfers in, transfers out. Marty wants to make the squad smaller. He wants to trim this squad, and hopefully when we do get back to the UK, we'll have a look now, because I'm surely he's had a good look at what this squad and who we can work with, who we can't. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Evening all. I'm surprised if we sign Ortega, simply because we would have at least half his wages in order to pay for us. Well, it could be a permanent deal, it could be a loan, I'm not sure. Hi David, how are we, mate? Evening all. Jack, not surprised in for Ortega. Jakub is a good shot stopper, but we need a sweeper keeper from this system to work. Yeah, this is it. You need... Matt Hermanson can play either. You get what I mean? He's a sweep keeper. He can shot stop. And I think he's got better distribution. But Jakub is a good shot stopper. His distribution's a bit if and but. Let's be fair. He does command his area well, though. I'll be honest. But you know, he deserves a chance to be number one. And we will see what happens. Obviously, Begovic is one that could come very much on a free. That is believed to be advancing. But Ben Jacobs today is on about Stefan Ortega from Manchester City. He could be very much on his way out after Man City want to sign another goalkeeper, don't they? James Trafford. So, hello, Craig. How are we? Watched lots of crap last season, Jack. Unfortunately, today was a little bit better. Do you know what? I think the team put effort in. Well, I'd say both games, to be fair. Obviously, there's a lot to work on, aren't they? The two teams were split into two. It wasn't Leicester's strongest side in either of the games, I'll be honest. It's players that just need to get the minutes under the belt, and that's what pre-season's about. It's not about winning. It's about getting them fit, getting them ready, getting them sharp for the first game of the season. Craig, how are we? I hope you're well. Don't get too excited. The salary will put us off. Yeah. Ant said he's on about 55k, but then I said he's on about 90. But different people say different things. Manchester City set to re-sign James Trafford from Manchester City. What do you think of that? Good English goalkeeper, still young. Made some good saves at Burnley when he was there. And Manchester City, did they have a buyback clause or whatever it was for him? But they're going to get him for around £27 million. I think after watching both games, we just about have a team, but not a squad. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Armchair. There's a lot of players you want to kind of get rid of, and then bring in players who can suit this style and suit the formula that Marty wants to play. Obviously, Marty needs to get his stamp on his team quite quickly. He's come in quite late, and yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. Let's be fair. And he says that in his sort of thing today. We need to get a striker in the club. Daka is not the answer. Yeah. I'm going to talk about some of the games in the minute, to be fair. We're going to talk about the home kit, what everyone's thoughts is on that. We're going to discuss everything else. And basically we're going to discuss everything and anything. But guys, as always, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Please get down and do so. Let me know. I'm just waiting for the guest to join. I know Manny's going to be joining me at some point, and a few others. So hopefully we can get some good guests. Hi, Amanda. How are we? Hope you're good. Hope everyone's good. Yeah, I'm all right. I am good, actually. I'm okay. I'm steady. Wrexham looking for Ericsson now. How huge is that? I mean, if they can pull that off. Jack, what did you think of the interview Marty gave? I think he's a very honest bloke, Armchair. I think he's very honest. Dan Bates asked him about, you work on these challenges when you win, even when you do lose. So, how important is that? And he sort of gave the thing on that. He said there's a lot to develop on, a lot to improve. So he said the boys have done a lot in this short space of time. He's had to get to know the players, get them playing a certain way. Yeah, so I think he's happy with certain parts, but he said there's this room for improvement, which there is, But I'm all right. How are you, mate? I do like that Jacob is still angry after every goal scored, despite the conceding we did last season. Yeah. What's happened to Ricardo Mavididi? Potentially, it could be injuries. It could be, probably a knock or something. I'm not sure. I know the same happened to Ben Nelson. Skip today's performance was horrific. We spent 25 million on that, by the way. Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? What about Clibo? We're going to look on getting different people in for sure. Big up everyone who's watching. 50 of you watching. Get involved. From today's show, we need pace and power in midfield. Skip, not good enough. Yeah. It's very one of them. I'll get Clibo in when he's ready to join. Hi, Joe. What is your my favourite cheese? I've never been asked this personal question before about food on this channel, but do you know what? I'm a red Leicester man. I like red Leicester. It goes well on cheese, on toast. It just does the drill, basically. It does the job. I like it on a sandwich. It's nice with a bit of ham. It's nice on a toaster. It's everything you want it to be, really. Red Leicester cheese, but it's something different you've asked me. I'll be honest. I've never been asked about cheese or anything, but yeah, I don't know. Ethan, thanks for getting it to me, mate. I appreciate it, as always. Clibo, are we ready? Let's rock and roll. There we go. The man himself, Mr. Rock and Roll, Clibo. How are we, mate?
I'm all right, mate. Sorry about the late join.
No, it's all right, mate. Better late than never. I've got Manny joining me at some point. I think he's just having some food. No clue on his preferred starting lineup yet. No. Clibo, when Marty Cifuentes came in, it was always about giving the players an opportunity, wasn't it, to see what he can do. And who we can work with and who we can develop, who we can't. that's something now that he's obviously looked at, hasn't he, in the days that they've spent together in Austria.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players, really. If you take the current squad and the youth players,
yeah,
to be able to play 2 games in a day, we've done, 4:45s. I think he's got a good impression of what we've got and what we've not got. My only concern is not being able to get rid of players to buy players. I think that's really frustrating. Today, I think what it did show was that we had, against what I would call a reasonable German team, probably like a Wolverhampton Wanderers equivalent in terms of where you'd be in the Premier League. I thought they played really well. Actually, I thought they had some good movement. But I'll be honest with you, we got shown up today. I'm not going to panic about it because of the situation. It's pre-season. We had mixed teams, but what I will say is the same old problems were caused by the same capital OLD players.
Yeah. Dave said it's just not knowing about the possible high-profile players expected to leave and who will be available to bring it if Cifuentes can get a plan going. That's the issue, isn't it, Clibo? You've got 30-odd players to work through. Who's going to fit the system next season? He did talk about the Sheffield Wednesday game today. He said, I need to get this team good. I need to get this side picked for the opening game of the season. He said there's a lot of hard work gone into since he's come in, him and Xavi Khan, and they've worked on a lot. They've got to know the players on a personal basis. There's improvements to be made. Of course there is, because he didn't know this team before he came in at all. He didn't know the players of what exactly was happening last season and all that. He's just came into it, hasn't he? And he's now seen for himself which players he prefers and which players are like, I don't think I can do nothing with them types of players. They're not really ones that fit my system quite well, because you look into both games. I tell you what, we'll get into, before we talk about everything else, we'll talk about the 2 games. Let's take you back to the first game against Karpaty Lviv. Leicester did win 2-1 today. Patson Daka actually scored 2, by the way, Clibo. What was your sort of thoughts on the first game and the team that he actually picked? Who sort of stood out for you in that game also?
Well, I think it was more of a collective performance, to be honest with you. If you go and see Leicester, you want to see a collective performance. You don't want to say any one player stood out in particular. And I thought it was a team performance today. So that's what I'd like to sort of comment on in terms of that performance. I was really pleased for Daka. I thought he made some good. I thought he made some good movement, which is something that I'm not going to say that he hasn't done in the past, because that's something that we can't accuse him of not doing. His movement's quite good. His hold-up play was okay, but I thought today his positioning, where that kind of where you had Drinkwater and Vardy, it was sort of him and Bilal were a little bit like that today. I'm not saying totally like that, but I thought the passing and the movement was good between those two. I mean, in terms of the goalkeeper, I thought he was quite solid. He had nothing. But you could have put 2 goalkeepers in that. He ain't saving that. So, but I thought, I've got to be honest with you, I've been quite impressed with him. I've kept my eye on him. I thought everybody had a reasonable game, and I thought it was a real typical Marty team and performance. This afternoon was a little bit different, obviously.
I mean, the first game, I thought Will Alves were fantastic. The way he drive and create that space and create that movement, obviously.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
I think he's going to improve massively under Cifuentes. He fits the module, what Cifuentes wants. He wants players with drive, energy, and can create them sort of moments in a game, get them on the front foot. Akole stood out again. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he did his job well, hold firm in that defence. I thought him and Fast did quite reasonably well together, to be fair, to say it's like the first pre-season, to be honest. Hamza Chowdhury, the versatile right back, he offers something in that area, innit? I think Hamza was good. I thought he communicated well and he defended well in the game, to be fair.
I actually think, Reece has spoke about this at length, and we've changed our mind several times, but I can actually see Chowdhury starting in that right back position purely because of his energy levels, and I think that's really important in this system. Getting up and down the pitch, I can see him starting there, and it wouldn't shock me, and it wouldn't annoy me if he took Ricardo's place. I want Ricardo to do well this season. I really do, genuinely, and I think he will be an important cog in the wheels. But I can see Chowdhury being a really, really important player for us this season. He's a championship player.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. In the Premier League, I don't think he can offer the team what it needs in the Premier League. But that's fine, because what he'll do for us this season is make us solid. I thought his passing and his movement has really improved. Over pre-season, what I've seen, I think it's really improved. It's a bit more sophisticated than it was, because we all know Chowdhury as this powerhouse who'll stick his face in front of the ball and somebody else's foot. He's that kind of person. But I think what I've seen so far is he's adapted to the system that he's been asked to play, and he's looking like one of those players who's got a little bit more technical ability than we've usually seen.
Yeah, Nath, I think I'd rather give up Red Leicester, to be fair, mate. Let's be fair. Bilal, he didn't look quite happy, did he, in the first game? But maybe that's because he has to prove himself to Marty regarding all this speculation about him. Maybe it's about, you know what, I'll put you in this team. I want you to prove to me that you actually want to be here next season. You actually want to prove to me you can fit my system, and I'm happy enough to work with you without any problems. So, I don't know, Bilal picked up second half, didn't he, Clibo, in the first game? I think he were quite good. You look at the pass for Patson Daka's second goal. Very
class.
Very good. Just moves past the defender. The defender's left on his arse, and he tries going in for the challenge, oversteps him, plays that pinpoint through past to Daka. Patson Daka in today's game, I thought he tried. There was effort there. He tried running the lines. The only thing I will criticise him for is when he did go back to defence. When he went to pass it and then he made that player and kicked it out for a corner. He showed effort today. He ran. He did score that penalty to get himself moving a lot more. And then the second goal, which we've been saying it, haven't we? We've been critical of him, is his shooting and finishing. And today, the second goal, we were thinking, if you get it through to Daka, is it going to be another one that he misses or just fumbles on or falls over? But he stood on his feet, took the shot on into the corner, and you could see how happy he was to actually get that goal. But I don't know. I thought Daka did all right in the game against Lviv, but then people say, yeah, but it's his level, it's this. But the thing is, you've got to score against what opponents you face, don't you, Clibo, to be honest?
Well, yeah, and I think the thing is with Daka, my observation was you can just tell that there's a real drain in his confidence. And when he took that penalty, I thought personally he was going to miss. But he was very, very eager to take that penalty. And it was a shit penalty. and the power got it over the line. But once he took that penalty and scored, you saw a skip in his step. And when he finished that second goal, that was a real instinctive striker's finish. And I've always believed that he's got that in his locker. For whatever reason, we haven't seen it often enough. Yeah. But I still believe if the right person can manage him, whatever it's got to take, he will do a job. I'm running out of patience, like a lot of people. But I have to say, today, that was a class finish. It was a class move with a class finish. And the class finish makes all the difference.
Christensen's injured. I don't think he's recovered from that, the one against OH Leuven that he picked up. Clibo, the two midfielders were Samore and Ndidi. I think Samore went through the bloody wars with their players. A bit of physicality, a bit of, well, they were grabbing him and pulling him about a bit. He weren't happy about it, let's be honest. He did go in a bit of a push and shove with him during that game. But it looked like with that game, it was always going to be one of them proper pre-season games, winning. They were going to come. They were going to be physical with Leicester. It was just how Leicester would respond to that. And I think the midfield, I think Samore was physical back with him when he had to really pull himself about. They were pulling him left, right and centre, but he handled it well. What was your thoughts on Buba and Wilf in that midfield in the first game?
I thought, well, none of them were playing at the level that they can play at. That's my initial assessment. I think we've got to imagine that none of them are going to be here next season.
Yeah.
Buba frustrates me every time I watch him because you see like a moment of magic and then, you know, the rest of the time he's just pissing me off. And like a lot of Leicester fans will, you know, I'm sure all the people in the chat will agree with me. You know, the guy has got a lot of natural ability.
Yeah.
But he's not going to perform in the Championship. You just know it. On a cold, wet night in Wrexham, that is not the person you want in your side. He's not going to dig the trenches for you. So personally speaking, it's irrelevant what he does in any game from now on. I'd like to see him gone, and I'd like to see the asset that whatever's left of that asset gone and put into a player that wants to be here, that relishes the challenge of potential promotion. For me, he's just had his time and that's it. Done.
Fair enough. What was your thoughts on Ben Nelson's comments about promotion? What should be the expectation, Clibo?
The expectation of Leicester City should always be promotion. Whether that's just me being a Leicester fan or not, I don't know. But it should be expectation. We've won the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup, we've won the Charity Shield or the Community Shield. Listen, we're the sixth most successful team in the last 10 years. And to expect to, like I hear a lot of people saying, oh, you know, it'd be good for us to stay in the league for a year and bed in the youngsters. I'm not in that camp at all. I'm not in that camp at all. I don't even want to entertain that idea. The financial repercussions are dire, for one. That's what people have to get into their heads. It's dire for us. And all the things I've heard from the manager so far are that's, you know, what is the remit. Yeah. Do I think we'll get 97 points? No. Do I think we'll get in the playoffs? You bet your ass I do. Because what I've seen so far, even though we're playing a lot of young players, is a style that will be able to compete admirably in the Championship. And I think we could get 87 points. And that'll be enough. Get in the playoffs. It's a lottery. But you have to back your team in the playoffs. I've been to Wembley when we've lost the playoffs, and I know how desperately awful that feels. And probably the most dramatic playoff final of all time, the Swindon one. And it's desperate, but you have to believe that if we get there, we can do it.
4 effectively defensive midfielders. Who is going to drive up that pitch? Have to find a KDH type who breaks the lines.
Oh, we've got one.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, there's 2 players that can, that I think are quite capable of that kind of box to box, and that's Bilal in an 8 maybe, where he picks the ball up, drives. I also think that Alves driving with the ball. I mean, it depends where he wants to develop him. I'd be very interested because I'm going to the Fiorentina match. I'd be very interested to see the lineup, because I think you'll tell I know it's a cliche, but I think you'll tell a lot by how we're going to play and the lineup that we're going to have throughout the season. But I also think during the season there's going to be a lot of changes. There'll be a lot of lineup changes playing the same system. And lots of players playing in different positions, very versatile. I think that's the way forward for this team. And the young players seem to be adapting to that really well. Really well.
I agree. Touched on Samari. Mark Albright said he was the best player in training. Unfortunately, he never shows the same quality in games. Best for all parties to lead. I agree. We can't keep having that same chat about it. Like, he does this in training, he does that, but then you see little glimpses in games. It's like us missing the nets, the lack of consistency. I don't think he's progressed for whatever reason it is. But he's not lived up to the expectation we expected of the £17 million we paid. So 4 years is a long period for a player. You'd expect them to probably hit the ground running, or just bed in some take a little bed in. But I think what we got about, is it a year left on his contract? Is it or so? It's I think we just need to make money for him, to be fair. And if a Spanish side or French side or whatever side it is, they are going to be willing to meet them requirements in paying him, because they're going to have to bring his wages down as well, and that's going to be a key ask for any of these Leicester players that leave the club this summer. The high wages is going to be the sticking point, and if them players are actually wanting to play first team football, they're going to have to drop whatever it is. Like Rangers with Conor Cody. The highest paid earner is 35k. Conor Cody's double of that, and then you got the bonuses and whatever on top in his contract. It's going to put teams off a lot.
I said it from the word go with Cody. He's not going to Rangers and not going to pay that wage. So I don't know how much of the the media hype is true, but I don't know whether he's been up there with talks.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I've said it from the word go, and I maintain it. They are not paying half of his wages. They're not doing it. They don't have the I mean, they have a massive crowd. I mean, I lived up there, and it's big time. Like, I would say Celtic and Rangers derby is one of the biggest in the world, without doubt. You have to live up there to understand it.
Yeah.
But they still don't have the revenue, the TV revenue, the worldwide revenue that the likes of the Premier League have. And so they can't pay it. Evening money.
Evening money.
Evening, chaps.
Enjoy your dinner.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
What did you end up having?
A bit under the weather.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea, but I had a chicken shawarma.
Yeah, I'll sweat it out of you, boy. I'll sweat it out of you.
Get it all out there.
It's all nice to have a Turkish every now and then.
Have a fowl next time.
I'm all over Turkish food at the moment. Absolutely loving my kebabs and my various Turkish foods. Lovely.
Clibo, before we talk to Manny about the first game, Clibo wants to ask you a question about Josh Brownhill. Do you think he could be the player that Leicester could have on a free agent?
Well, I've made
It'd be a good fit for me.
I mean, listen, there's no doubt the boy's got talent. He's championship proven.
Yeah.
But it depends. And I mean, Manny will have an opinion on this. I know it depends where your ambition is, doesn't it? Because what you've got to do with a player like that at his age is you've got to offer him, in order for him to come here, you've got to offer him a good package. A good package will probably mean a long-ish contract.
Yeah.
And in the Premier League, you know, let's have a look at the stats. They speak for themselves. What do you reckon, man?
When you look at these kind of signings, you have to look at it not just in isolation of one season. You can't do that. You have to look at the package and over the lifetime of the deal. Now, from what I understand, Brownhill's on something like 30 to 40 a week at Burnley at the moment. So he's 29 years old. He's rejected whatever deal that they've offered him, being in the Premier League. So he's looking for his last big deal, a nice big fat 3 to 4 year contract. Let's say if I'm on 30, 40, my agent, I'm going to be wanting at least 60 for my last big payoff. At least 60. And so you might get that because there's no transfer fee or minimal transfer fee involved. So instead of someone paying, Josh Brownhill is probably valued at like, what, 10 to 15 million as a player in the open market if you had him under contract. So someone might say, you know, we could sign him on a free, keep him for a year, he's still worth 10 million quid, you could maybe offload him to someone else. However, nobody wants to pay 60 grand a week for someone who's 30 years old, so you're lumbered with him. Now, he would be good enough to get you up. It's important to recognise in this league he would be an effective, consistent player, good attitude, work rate, knows the league, experienced, all of that stuff. However, once you get promoted, you got a problem. Because it's a relegation type player. You know, he's the guy who's going to be fighting relegation. That's his level at that level. So, but you've still got him for another 2-3 years. Now, also, whatever you're paying him in the Championship, you're going to have to pay him a Premier League bonus about going up. He's not going to sign a contract. All of these players, they're looking for about a 30% bump up in their wages. So 60 grand a week becomes 85 to 90 grand a week in the Premier League. Now you're paying big money again. We've been this cycle. We have Josh Brown, who's not 29 now, he's 30. You're paying him 90 grand a week, and he's not quite good enough for the level you want to have. What happens? You end up PSR problems, you end up going down, you end up the same situation we're in with Winks right now, or the same situation with Cody or Vestergaard, because the same kind of thinking, when you signed that player, you didn't fast forward a year or two down the line. You only thought about that first season when you bought him. And that kind of short-term thinking gives you long-term problems.
I agree completely.
Clipper, what's your thoughts on what Richard's saying here?
Well, we're treating these big earners with respect to get them out of the treating them like shit. Let's get links. Well, listen, I'm all about the love. I don't like to treat anyone like shit. I'm straight talking, but I don't like to treat anyone like shit. Like, at the end of the day, these people, they're just humans like us. And if you're offered 60, 70 grand,
you know what I mean?
You'd take it. So it's not their fault.
It's the club's fault for paying.
What does piss me off about players is when they become multi-millionaires because they've been in the Premier League 4 or 5 seasons. And then they're still dragging it out rather than going to a team that will allow them to play and still earn a freaking good wage. That's what pisses me off. That's greedy, and I don't like it.
Just to return to his looking at United, City, Liverpool youth, however, they'll come up at a hefty price too. Manny, what's your thoughts on that? About obviously the youth from like the bigger clubs, if Leicester were to look in that type of area?
Yes, but there's a crucial difference between that. Again, don't focus just on price tag. Let's work on two different scenarios. Okay, scenario A, you're looking for a midfielder. Let's say we're going to sell Booba, we're going to sell Ndidi, maybe Skip or Winks, or both are going to go. You've got to replace them. You've got option A, Josh Brownhill. Yeah. Let's say he's going to be 60k a week. Let's say you can time down to a 3-year deal. 60. I always do this. And here's Maddie Maths again. Here we go. 60k a week is 3 million quid a year. 3-year deal, 9 million quid. You give him a signing on fee of about 2 million quid plus his agent and the wages. You're looking at about a 12 million pound package over 3 years. At the end of that 3 years, your asset is worth 0, and he goes off the books. Okay, 12 million pound. It cost you for 3 years of performance. Option B, you pay a for a young player, let's say you buy a talented young player from an academy X, whoever it might be, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, like the gentleman suggested. Let's say that player costs you 12 million to 15, probably, for the ones are the quieter ones that we don't know. Let's be extreme and say that's 15. You're paying the guy about more like 25 grand a week, not your 60. So you're paying him about 1.25 million a year. So over the same 3-year deal is 4.5 million in wages plus the 15 and the extras. It's a 22 million pound package. The whole package costs you 10 million pounds more than Josh Brownhill. However, at the end of that process, what is the asset that you have? As long as you pick the right one and developed him, what's he worth in the open market? A good quality young player that's developed is worth 40 million quid, 50 million quid. So you might spend 10 more, but ultimately you're going to bring in revenue of 30, 40 more. We have brought through Fofana 30 million quid. We sold him for 70. We brought through Harry Maguire 17 million quid. We sold him for 80. You know, we have had other players we brought through our academy. We've moved on for bigger numbers. That is the model. You buy young, you utilise our Seagrave, our talents, our position to give these guys game time that they cannot get at Liverpool, that they cannot get at Man City. This is why Jeremy Monga is willing to stay, because he can play for us. This is pretty much the highest level that will give him consistent minutes. So come here, learn your trade, help us improve, and when your chance comes, your big payday will come down the line, and then we should happily be that club in that position. You come here for a bit, you enjoy your time, you move on, and we replace you, and we can keep replacing the next guy, and you just repeat that model continuously. And the only thing that will fail then is either if you take your eyes off the ball and start signing Brownhills or equivalents, or your recruitment eyes are off and you can't identify good quality young talent, and you think you buy a young player like Oliver Skipp, who's 23 years old, you spend 25 million, but your eyes were off. So you made a mistake there. Your eyes have to be bang on with these kids. Which kids are the really talented ones and which ones are ones to avoid?
That's the annoying thing about what you just said, Manny, is that, you know, you look at the profits we've made on players.
I think that ship sailed, Chris, mate.
Essentially, that profit has basically gone on bloody wages on shit players, and got us into a lot of trouble. And we have to change that mentality. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And I mean, there is a risk attached to it, of course, with every sort of business. You know, with every sort of business model, there's a risk attached to it. But I think what we've got to do as a club is reduce the risks. And I think what Manny's saying is the lesser of the risks.
Younger players have more advantages than ever before, right? They're cheaper, they are faster, they're generally hungrier, and I would argue in the modern game they're more effective than they've ever been, because in the olden days, young players used to get kicked out of the game. Somebody would just give you a good walloping, or a defender would come through the back of you, and you'd be lying on the floor, and the kid's not ready. Nowadays, we've got VAR. Defenders aren't allowed to tackle from behind. Everything you don't get those huge tackles like you used to. Those huge collisions aren't there. So that means the body type of a player that will be effective is different. You don't need to be as physically strong. What you need to be able to do is turn like quick. So when we watch our pre-season friendlies, who's the best player on the pitch every time we watch?
Monga.
Is he some kind of physical brick monster? No. He's a 5 foot, what is he, 5'9", 5'10"?
I think he's smaller than that, isn't he?
And he's just turned 16 years old, but because he can move his 16-year-old body left and right faster than the defenders in front of him can move their bigger, slower bodies, they cannot react as quickly as he can. So he shifts one way. By the time they've reacted, he's already gone. That's an advantage of being young. You're also paying him way smaller wages than you would do for, say, a 28-year-old winger who's proven and has all the things that you're looking for traditionally. Avoid the mistakes. Let other people sign those old people. That's old school thinking. Adapt to the new way. Recognise that it's not just about giving youth a chance. It's the fact that the youth are very often the very best players on the pitch. They're the best players. We saw Abdul, little cameo today. You see what he does with the ball. He's 20.
That was a cheeky move, right down that
5'9".
Flicked it with his foot, I mean, that was just taking the absolute piss. I loved
Wait,
it. They also,
it's mad.
yeah. Also,
You get
what I loved
excited, don't you? Just when he touches that ball, it's like,
yeah.
you're
But
like,
he got clattered
what's
a
he going
few
to do?
times. Got clattered, and you were like, "Oh shit!"
He
Is
rips
made
it
a glass?
off.
No, he
Shakes
got
it
back
off.
up. He got back
You know
up.
what? He has the kind of attitude that if you crunch him, he's going to stand up and laugh, and then he's going to come for you twice as hard next.
Yeah,
and,
really
he's going to embarrass you. And you're going to get embarrassed. So you better don't. It's one of those ones where don't get him angry. You know, you say that about Michael Jordan. Don't get him angry. He'll play even better. Don't get Jeremy Monga angry.
So you're coming
This
in.
boy is different level to you, right? And you have to, even at 16, it's clear he's a different level to you. Now he's the extreme version, but it's important to recognise it's not just him. I mean, what do you think about Aluka at the back?
I love
good.
him. I
Very,
love him.
very good, I thought.
Very adaptable, and
Yeah.
I think he could play
The way he gets forward as well for the
across the
opportunities.
whole back four. It doesn't matter, and that's what I said. This team, the 25 that he'll pick,
I'm right.
or 35 because they're all under 21.
Man, he knows his shit. That's what it is.
The 25 that he'll pick will be all, and it's something you spoke on about in the past, Manny, is that players understand other positions in the team now, and they're growing up in that way. And I think that's the way, in the progressive way, this manager's thinking. And I think he'll pick his 25 largely based on that theory.
You don't do that, Ben, mate. You definitely ain't getting away with that again.
Fucking Vestergaard, fuck him.
Today was actually a very, very, very useful exercise. Very useful.
Yeah, it was.
Massively. It's
talk
clear.
First game.
Go on. I can't comment about the first game, to be fair, Jack. I still haven't caught up with it. It was I haven't managed to. We did a watch along for the second game, so I watched that one. But I mean, to be honest, you learn more from the second game because of the quality of opposition. You learn more from that. I learned more from the loss than I did do from all the wins combined.
All right, then,
that was the important one.
About the 3-1 defeat. What was your initial thoughts on that? The good and the bad, and the ugly.
Good stuff. I thought we were front-footed in terms of trying to want to control the game, trying to get the ball, trying to control the tempo of the game, trying to implement some of our assets onto the game. Definitely the press was a bit of an issue because I think Marty said it in his post-match conference.
Money.
If I'm feeling fancy, raclette.
I don't even know what that is, but we'll go with it anyway.
There's a dish called tartiflette, French dish. It's got potatoes, bacon, eggs.
You like French
absolutely off the charts, but heart attack alert, but delicious. Tartiflette, Google it.
Now go on then,
anyway, where was I? Yeah, so we were pressing pretty high, but then they were trying to implement. He's only had 10 days, remember, so you're trying to get these guys charging at the ball effectively, 7-second rule and all that stuff. But they were cute enough to play through it. They saw it coming, they played through it, and once they played through it, they're into clean air. And so you set up with like a defensive box. So think of the two centre-backs and then the two DMs in front of them as like a square box. And that is your heart of sort of your defensive shape, because your wider guys might be caught forward. So you guys, you stay as a box. And if the two have to fan out wide or protect the central area, we'll adapt accordingly. But in that box today was Cody, Winks, Skip, and Vestergaard. Oh my! Watch the goals back. Focus on those box players. Focus on those four players. Where should they be? Where should they be positionally? How did they react to being out of position? And then how could they deal with the opposition running at them? As in, how good are they when they're defending backwards? It's all right when you're on the front foot, right? But when you're running backwards, there's a bit of panic, there's a bit of chaos. I'm not really sure who's supposed to be picking up who. There's runners coming from all directions. There's chaos time. How do you deal with that transition attack? And that is the weakness of a high press, intense play. This is standard what we're going to come across with astute managers.
No communication between Cody and Vestergaard.
The first goal was horrific to concede.
Goal, yeah. And I don't know whether you agree with me. The pair of you I saw the same old problems from the same old players from last season, from the Cooper era, and I think JJ got exposed. There was when the balls were coming over down the left-hand side, that space was exactly the same as last season, exactly at the beginning of the season.
And there's ways you can
space for them.
Now, you have to accept that if you're going to play the way that Marty wants to play, there is always that danger that a good quality team is going to be able to transition on you. So you have to. So, but then this is exactly what they'll work on: is what to do when we lose the ball, what to do when they break through our first line, and what do we do about recovery. So you'll have either players running into set zones, you'll have players trying to cover certain other players. I've got to be here, I've got to be there, etc. It's probably a bit too early to judge them on that basis because they've only had 10 days. But the one thing I noticed is they're chugging when they're running back. They're chugging. They're slow. They can't get there. Do you remember that Okoli when he cleared one off the line against Man United in the Cup?
Yeah.
That is something that only pace allows you to do.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to physically get there and then slide, have the athleticism to do it and clear that. That is a brilliant example of what a profile choice of pace over a profile choice of non-pace, i.e. Vestergaard. Vestergaard was a passenger. Somebody runs across the blind side of him. He hasn't got a clue he's there. He's got no chance of turning, knowing what's going on. He's got ball watching. He gets caught offside because when a line is moving up and forwards quite acutely, he doesn't move as quickly as the rest of his defenders. So often he gets caught 6 centimetres, 10 centimetres, 15 centimetres out of position. That's all it takes is to play a striker onside. He cannot react quick enough. Now, last time, Enzo masked this, right? Because Enzo is a genius and he had mobility all around Vestergaard. You've got 2 protective DMs in front of you in Ricky and Wings. So they're your double screens. You've got 2 centre-backs either side of you, not full-backs, 2 centre-backs taking the weight off you. So your job is they'll do the hard work, you collect the ball, you start off the attack with a nice simple pass. I'm sorry, the game was already... If Cole were in the Championship, they would be beating up Vestergaard week after week after week. Now, we've got to hope that the Championship opposition aren't good enough to do that, and there's a case to say that a lot of them aren't. But just because the opposition aren't good enough to exploit it, again, what happens when you're back in the Premier League? We know what's going to happen.
So
the only thing you have to decide, Vestergaard, do you want to keep him because you have to keep him because literally you cannot get him off your books, and therefore, shall we use him or not use him? I would say whether he's there or not there, bin him off. I don't want to play that way. I don't want him as a liability. I'd rather see a Luco play. I'd rather see Ben Nelson play. I'd rather see a Coley play. I'd rather Wilson Brown's gone on loan, but I would have rather seen him play. Develop the kids. Give these guys game time. And before I go on another rant, I'll come back to further reasons why this is a unique case for this specific season, but I've been talking long enough.
Right, yeah. My theory was in that game that the first goal comes from Vestergaard being too far deep out. Connor Cody, he ain't really... There's no communication between the pair of them for the first goal. The second goal, what is Oliver Skipp doing? I don't get it. Man's just looked at it, looked away from it, looked back at it again. They've bended it top corner. I'm just like...
No closing down, no reaction. No reaction.
Stand off him. And then
he's out of position in the first place. He's
shot. He's shocking.
In that position, you focused with Cole. They was good at that. They knew Leicester wouldn't actually come at him. They were like, we'll go for a shot on it. How many times in that game did they kept doing that? And I was like, we've got to change something quick. But then the way you look at Skipp, and he was horrific in that game. Vestergaard, Cody. You look at Luco, Monga, Jordan Ayew. They were the 3 key players in that game for me. I thought they was the best players on the pitch throughout the whole game.
Yeah, go, sorry, Clever, go, Karen.
No, I think the people at Tottenham must have something on Rudkin, because
crazy.
I cannot for the life of see how on earth we've paid 20 plus add-ons. I can't see it. I can't see it.
Too slow. He don't react.
He looks older than me.
Offers nothing.
We had this debate about 10 months ago at the start of last season under Cooper, and people were saying Skipp and Winks in the, we just signed Skipp, don't forget. So we're like, well, Winks was a key player the previous season, so those two know each other from Tottenham. They should be playing. And some people called for Ndidi to be dropped. I've got a reputation for being a Wilfred lover, and which I'm guilty as charged. I am. Because you see when he's not there, the value of him being there. He does interceptions. He does blocks. He gets those long legs stuck in. He slows down the play. He choppers the opposition. He starts off winning the ball. Like, if you look at the stats, Oliver Skipp doesn't win the ball often. You know what he does? Right, watch this. This is a consistent theme. It's obvious. He's out of position. He's looking around. Right, he's looking around. He wants to find himself in a space. So he's thinking, if I get the ball, I want to have the most time possible on the ball. So position myself so that when I get the ball, if someone closes me down, I've got a second and a half to lay it off. So he's thinking about when I receive the ball. You're a DM. You should be thinking, if we lose the ball, I've got to focus on where should I be to win it back. So his mindset's already wrong. Right? He thinks he's Harry Winks. That's Harry Winks' job. You're the guy who's supposed to start off the attack, not Skippy. Skippy's the guy who wins the ball and gives it to Winks.
Yeah.
He's got it the reverse way round. So now Wilf would just win the ball and shovel it off to someone else. But this guy's thinking, no. I'm not thinking about winning the ball. Their job is to win the ball and give it to me. If you had a different attitude, you'd positionally be a little bit deeper, a little bit more central, not so much in space, but more in the thick of the action.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to be in the thick of the action because he's not very good at tackling. So what he does is normally he has to chase after somebody and then he'll make a diving challenge, normally one-footed. 50-50. It will either come off and look really good, so it'll look like a good clean tackle, or half the time it'll look like today when he gave away the penalty. He'll dive in. Now the first point is you were out of position. So that is why you're already struggling. You're on the back foot having to hunt the guy down because you were out of position. So he's already got on the wrong side of you. Secondly, don't be diving in. It's daft. Diving in is a 50-50 at best. You're better off shadowing your player all the way and trying to make it difficult for him to lay it off or put a cross in or whatever. But he commits. That's an error. Secondly, he's short. So when he commits, he can't make a good sliding tackle. It's not as if he could use Ndidi-style legs to get there and get you that extra few inches that you need to win the ball. It doesn't. So it's a clumsy tackle, more often than not. There's plenty of examples he does this. So watch that moving forward when you watch him play.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If he just shadowed him and just literally took him to the line, he was too close to the goal to be able to cross it effectively.
Or even get the shot on. But what does Skip do? Oh, that's all right. I'll lunge in, mate. You're nowhere near the ball. I'm just like, why are you lunging in?
You know what? Central midfield has always been the hotbed of a football match since I can remember.
Yeah.
Like, if you either are a clean ball winner like N'Golo Kante, which is very, very, very rare to find somebody who can win the ball that clean, or you're quite physical enough to at least not smash players like the old style, but you've got to be able to, like you said, use your you can use your gymnastic skills to win a ball, but at least be able to have a strong core physically, so you don't get knocked off. Like, if you've got Winks and Skip in your midfield, what part of that has physicality about them? They're both 5'9", aren't they? I think they're both 5'9".
Bloody Skip looks bigger than Winks.
Now, in the end, last season, both managers decided they agreed with that basis. So Soumare and Ndidi played every week. Now, Soumare and Ndidi had its own issues as well, particularly advancing the ball forward. Yeah. But in this league, defensively, in a transition, which two would you rather have when team is bearing down on you? Wilfred Booba or Winks and Skip?
Soumare and Ndidi.
So then the question becomes, we want to get rid of two of our midfielders. Which two would you rather get rid of? Winks has got a year left, Soumare's got a year left. Which one do you want to keep? Personally, I choose, as much as people don't like Bouba Soumare, they've always said the same thing. There is a player in there. There's 1 year left. I would say you're probably not going to get no one's going to buy him with a year left. They'll wait till he's a free agent anyway. Yeah. You might get 3 or 4 million quid, but that's peanuts. Same for Winks.
I would pick Page over him.
Yeah, I would. However, Page, he can't play 46 games.
No.
So you need somebody to play half those games.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
agreed.
Let's talk about the positive side of the game with certain individuals. I tell you what, I want to big up Jordan Ayew. Work rate.
Yeah, me too.
Running, worked
Yeah,
hard in the
too.
game till about the 85th minute until they brought him off. He ran the wings, he dropped deep, held the ball up well, got fouled a few
Strong.
times.
Very
But that
strong.
cross for
Oh,
Silko
brilliant.
Thomas. Silko
Brilliant.
Thomas has got to do better in that position. But Jordan
Yeah.
Ayew, he was a workhorse there. He worked his arse off. I thought he was very good today, in my opinion. The way he just put him up front and just let him do what he needs to do. He was intense to attack everything.
I've had a nibble on him each way at 20-1 for top goal scorer.
I think he gets 10 plus next season.
He's going to be
Top
on
goal
penalty
scorer for Leicester or for
the league, but because he's going to be on pens as well.
He'd finish most what's
Forget
provided to
points
him
when it comes to a top goal scorer market. The points deduction makes no relevance. It's 46 games.
Yeah.
He's robust. He plays game after game. Daka may well get game minutes, but I don't think so. Most games, I think Ayew will probably start over Daka. He takes penalties. He takes free kicks. He can score from corners. And I was not the biggest fan of Jordan Ayew in the Premier League because his average position is around the halfway line. But in this league, his average position is probably going to be on the edge of the penalty. Well, no, on the edge of the 18-yard line.
Yeah.
Or 25 yards out. He's going to be 25, 30 yards further up the pitch. So the pace is less of a problem and the strength is more of a strength. So Jordan Ayew in this league makes sense, and Leicester should score a fat ton of goals. When you've got, in the end, the teams are going to have to double up on Monga because he's unstoppable. If it's Mavididi, you're going to have to get close to doubling up. Believe it or not, last year, even Liverpool doubled up on Mavididi. Even Liverpool at Anfield were doubling up on Mavididi at times. Fatawu, if he gets on form, you're going to have to double up on him. You cannot double up on all of these guys. They're too electric. So if everyone's watching Monga, if everyone's watching Fatawu or Mavididi, Jordan Ayew should be there to pick up the pieces. And so I'm expecting him to have a pretty good season, to be honest.
That's what Ray says, Club here about Jordan Ayew.
It's a point. It's a good point.
Chris Wood with Elanga and Hudson-Odoi either side is not too dissimilar to Ayew being the similar role, not quite as tall, not quite as aerial threats, but similar other characteristics. He's the focal point of the pace around him.
I think that's something we're missing in this team is aerial ability. And I think we've missed it for quite some time. The other thing that still irritates me slightly is these set pieces. I still think that, given that we had a set piece coach, I still don't think that the corners are as effective as they should be. I still don't think we've got somebody that's set on taking corners. I mean, I think did Bilal take one earlier?
Pieces,
yeah, and it kind of first man again, and you think to yourself, bloody hell, these are professional footballers. You've got at least put it in an area that a player can at least attack it.
Jordan Ayew's his back post. It's like straight back post. I know where I'm going with this. And
Ayew's been all right. Ayew's been all right on the set piece, to be fair. Not been too bad recently. He's been all right. I'm not saying he's been amazing, but he's been all right.
It's not like what we want, is it?
It's been better than what we've been getting, though.
Yeah, I know. But I think, in terms of improvement, that's something that I would imagine that Marty will probably look at.
Well, it won't be long before Monga's on them, mate. Monga will be doing everything.
Right.
He'll be doing everything.
I'll tell you what, you mentioned a man's name, and here he is, Jeremy Monga, against Köln. A more different opponent, I'd say a more better opponent than the teams that we have played. I think he stepped up his game in this one. He knew how difficult they can be. And when he gets that ball, Manny, he'd take them on like they're not even there. And he'll do like 2-3 players at one point. He'd just go through like, mate, I'll skip past you. Not interested, mate. Come and get the ball off me if you really want it. And I thought he was class in the things that he did in the game when he did get the ball.
My favourite thing in football since I was a kid is when some magician picks up the ball, turns and starts running at people, and they start bricking their pants because they don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And no matter what they do, whether they commit to him or they back off, they can't stop the guy. He's just too good. So the very greatest examples that come to mind, my favourite player, Maradona, my favourite player of all time. Still think he's the best player of all time. Still think he's the best player I've ever seen, including Messi, by the way. For all the young lads, better than Messi, by the way.
You need to tune in Tuesday, mate, because there's a debate about that. Me and Reese.
That Maradona was the best I've ever seen. Never seen a better player in my life.
Me too.
If you watch Maradona run with the ball, there's a good game on YouTube. I think it was England against Argentina in, I'm going to say 1982 at Wembley. Maradona's 19. Watch this 19-year-old kid, or against in the era where you were getting hacked. But the most exciting thing is when the guy gets the ball, he turns, he runs at you, and you think, holy shit. Every time he gets the ball, you're expecting him to beat 1-2 players, minimum. Because he does it so easily. He'll go left of you, he'll go right of you. If you want to commit, he'll dink the ball over you and carry on going. He'll ride a challenge if you want to get overly physical. The guy is on a different level to you. So, to carry on with those kind of players, R9, Ronaldo, if you remember him, woof. A young R9 running with the ball. Have a look at him at like PSV or Barcelona. It was ridiculous. The control, the speed, the step overs, the purpose, coming for the goal. Wow. Messi,
we are training. We are obsessed with systems, though, and I'm convinced that the systems are taking those players out of the game.
However, I'll give you this, Clement. The purpose of the two prominent systems in play are still to get the ball to the wide players and basically let the wide players do their thing. That's the one part of the system where you are allowed to have creativity. Now, but before people say Jack Grealish, because that's the standard response to the system killing a player, in that same system, didn't stop Riyad Mahrez from scoring 25 goals a season, didn't stop Raheem Sterling scoring 25 goals a season from the left, and it won't stop better players. Unfortunately, Grealish didn't have the quality of output because Grealish doesn't gun at the fullback. If you're someone like Doku, who does try and run at the fullback, or Mahrez, he's going to take the fullback on, Mahrez is, and he's going to beat him. That's what happens.
I still think Man City bought him so that nobody else could have him.
It was a mistake. It didn't fit. It was the wrong kind of player in the wrong position. It didn't work. But those wingers, well, even for us, remember the season? Let's not talk about other teams. What about our team? So the season we went up, Mavididi and Fatawu, how many times were they able to take on the fullback? Time after time, game after game, they were beating their fullback. Fatawu used to beat their fullback at least 5 times a match.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, he was so good at it that if you look at the amount of times that he did the same thing, but they still weren't able to beat it.
Can't stop pace when it's under control.
No.
When it's under control, when high speed is under control, if somebody's quicker, if somebody can execute at a higher speed than you, it's unstoppable. You can't react quick enough. It's just maths, basically. So, back full circle, Jeremy Monga. The boy's dribbling ability is like a young player of elite level talent. He seems like every time he wants to pick the ball up, he's not looking to pass backwards, is he? He's not looking to lay it off inside to the fullback or to the centre back, or is he looking to ping it to somebody else? No, he's going, hello, sharks at feeding time, and here's my little fishy that's coming out to play. We're going to go for this boy. We're going to put him on his arse. We're going to embarrass him. Which way do I want to go? I don't know. Let's just start running. I'll feel it in the flow. He'll shimmy left. He'll shimmy right. You don't know what's going to go on. And the defenders, the first time, they'll try and get tight. They'll say, get tight to him. Don't let him turn. Put a challenge in, right? In that turn, he can turn too quickly. So he feels the challenge coming. He's good enough to move the ball from the point of contact, spin, turn and go. He's beating you and you're lying on the floor. So second time, you don't want to dive in. You want to back off. If you back off, he's just going to run at you until you either commit, in which case he'll just get past you. So What
So,
do you do?
given what you've seen so far with Mavididi in pre-season, do you see him starting over? I'm on about Monga. Do you see him starting over Mavididi, or do you see him starting on the bench, or potentially as number 10?
I would play both. I would
But what do
want
you
both.
think
What do I think will happen? I would think he'll start Monga first game.
over Mavididi?
If Mavadidi's got injury problems, yes. If Mavadidi's not got injury problems, I think we might see Monga benched for the first game. Just because it's that old, guarantee your experience. It's psychologically, you've got to be very, very careful. Do you remember the first game of last season? Mavididi was dropped for Cordova-Reid on the left wing against Spurs, first home game. Straight away, you're going to piss the player off. He's like, as good as Cordova-Reid is, I got us promoted. That's my spot, and you've given it not through bad performance. You've just given it a guy who's worked through the door. Psychologically, it's poor management. So a good manager would probably think, even though Monga is obviously clearly a higher ceiling and is a great player, but Mavadidi's no slouch himself. You've got to keep Mavididi on side. He's the one that you could lose. Monga would be happy to sit on the bench for the first few games and get half an hour. What I would like to see is play all three of them. I want to see Mavididi on the left, I want to see Fatal on the right, and I want to see Monga in the 10, because I'm assuming that somebody's going to come in and buy Bilal. If we keep Bilal, I'd still have Bilal. I'd put Bilal, pull him in deeper, and put him in more of a Yuri Tielemans type role. And he has got the ability to do that too. Yeah, well, hey, Planet Earth is back. The difference is, it's not. You forget. I don't use the word speed when I say these things. I use the word fast twitch. I always use that. I don't use speed. It's not about pace. It's about being able to move your body, your muscle fibers, over short distances. I'm not looking for a 100-meter sprinter. I'm looking for a 5-meter sprinter that can do it on a turn, that can do it off balance and get to balance quicker than everyone else, which is why things like low centre of gravity are really important. There's no coincidence that some of the greatest dribblers of all time were Messi, short, Maradona, short, and maybe one day, Monga, short. The low centre of gravity helps them to carry that speed over the first 5 metres. Over a 100-metre race, you'll beat them. But over a 5, 10, 15, 20-metre race, you won't. I think there's a sprinter. Is it Mark Coleman? I think it was Christian Coleman, whatever his name, Coleman. He never, I don't think he ever wins the gold. He might have won the last gold. But he's always the quickest up to 30 metres. In my day, it was Jason Gardner. Jason Gardner always used to win the 60 metres, but he couldn't win the 100 metres. It's two different disciplines. Everything is about, because teams are coming to press at you all the time, you've got to be able to do it in a small a small pocket of space with lots of pressure coming at you, so you've got to be technically good. That's why Patson Daka fails, because his first touch isn't good enough. He can't receive the ball under pressure, he can't hold anybody off, and he can't turn quickly enough because his technicality is not good enough. Whereas Jeremy Monga could turn on a dime.
Apparently, he failed to answer his point. But...
I mean, he says that, but I mean, would anybody else say that I didn't answer his point?
Fair enough. Right, I'm gonna ask you both the same question. What have you learnt from pre-season so far with this squad? We'll talk about Marty Cifuentes' squad. Clibbo, what have you learnt so far with Marty Cifuentes' squad that really inspires you so far?
The unity in the squad, and I know that sounds a bit of an old cliche, but I think if you look at last season, it looked like a team of individuals. If you look at this season, the willingness to get the ball back as soon as possible, and I know that's something Marty's brought in. King, he's done a great job, but you can see that immediately that there's a unity again. And I think if you look at our club historically, and you only got to watch like Matty Elliott podcasts. That's the thing that is the sort of common denominator with all the guests that he brings on. They all talk about the unity in the team, and I think if you can base skill and stuff around that foundation, I think you're going to be successful. So I would say that the unity in the squad.
Manny, what have you learned so far? What inspires you under Marty Cifuentes so far that you've been very impressed with, and what they need to work on?
I like the word intensity, that he wants to do something quickly. Like
Yeah.
whether you have the ball or whether you don't have the ball, don't let the game drift by. Stay on it, stay on it, stay on it. If we don't have the ball, win it quickly. If we do have the ball, move it quickly. I think the point is we're trying to up the tempo of the game, and if we're able to execute that increased tempo, that translates well in the Premier League. That is something that can keep us up in the Premier League. It's a harder ask in many ways. I noticed one little detail that he was doing one of his training videos,
Yeah.
and he said no 2 touches, 1 touch only. You think it's a little thing, it's a big thing, big thing. If you can't play it first time, that's not the standard we're looking for under Marty Cifuentes. That's a hard ask. You're asking people like Cody, you're going to have some duff 1 touches at times, but he's trying to get the guys playing. It's like ping pong, isn't it? You want to move the ball, bump, 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 bump. There's no dawdling, there's no faffing, there's no waiting. High intensity, high energy. Let's get it forward, get it to the wide players, let them go and do their thing, go into support, attack, score, goal. There is a problem with that. Look, everything has a balance. So we've already spoken about the transition, so I'm not going to repeat myself on that. And it's a personal choice. Enzo is a bit more patient. Let's keep control of the game. Let's tire out the opposition. And then opportunities will present themselves. But similar in terms of trying to get the ball out wide and let those guys do their thing too.
I'd just like to respond to Planet Earth, actually. I respect his opinion, so what I'm about to say is not to have a go at you. Glenn Hoddle, I've had the privilege of seeing quite a few times in my day, and is still, in my eyes, one of the greatest players, particularly British English players, that's ever picked a football up.
Yeah.
And you can't really say that about the speed of him, because the game is so much quicker now. He would never have the time and space. I'm not saying he wouldn't dribble his way out of it, but the game is so much quicker. I think he was a transitional player, and yes, he didn't have pace, but there's certain players that don't have. They're just one-offs. They're just one-offs. In general terms, that's not gonna work as an argument. But I respect your opinion, Planet Earth. For me, Glenn Hoddle's one of the greatest players to ever grace the British football scene.
Robin talks about the style of football under Marty Cifuentes, tiki-taka, possession-based football, and unapologetic about that. Yes, I'm biased. This is my favourite type of football, but good to see someone here with principles. I like that about Marty. He knows what he wants and how he wants to know how to get there, which is, I think this squad, it does offer a lot more intensity. They look fit, they look sharp. The way they can just transition quickly is good. I think what was missing in that Köln game was the linking sort of, from Winks and Skip to the attack. That's what sort of frustrated me a bit, but that's down to the player. That's not down to the manager to be doing them things. That's down to them to improve in their own game. If they're not doing that, that's their own issue, innit? So I like the fact that he's brought a different identity to this. He's very much vocal on everything he wants to achieve, and I like the foundations that he's setting for this. About it's a foundations he wants to sort. It's going to take time. It's a process. He speaks well, and I like everything he's learned so far. I think it is football that can get you off your seat. I'll be honest. It's not this boring possession-based football. It's more quicker than that. You get what I mean? Every time they touch the ball, they're like thinking the next pass to get forward. And this is what I like about Marty. He's willing to learn, and then when things do need improving, he's willing to talk about that with the players and actually get them into different rhythms. So I think this is a guy with 2 plans. I mean, if you look at plan A in the first half, didn't really go to plan. So he thought second half, we'll try something different. Then we'll put Fatawu on in the last 20 minutes of the game. And I thought Fatawu was all right when he came on. They just like to kick him, didn't they? Manny, to be fair, Fatawu he looked like he'd never been away from me. What did you reckon regarding Abdul?
I still want to see a little bit more of it, but the signs are good. Let's put it that way. that he's still the legend that we remember from that season, that he can beat a player, that he can do all those fast twitch things that I love from my wingers.
Yeah.
He's fearless. Again, just like Jeremy Monga, see the fullback. His first instinct isn't to lay it off back inside, keep the ball, keep shape. No, let's go at this guy. I can beat this guy and get a shot in. Or go at this guy on the outside and get a cross in. Old-fashioned wing play, same thing. We used to have... Clib, I remember a player that I used to love, Mark Overmars.
Oh, yeah. Quality.
Good player for Arsenal.
Yeah, quality.
Did he play for Aston as well, Overmars?
Maybe at the back of his career, but when he played for Ajax and won the Champions League, he was absolutely electric. Gets the ball, knocks it past you, sprint race, I'm going to beat you over that 20 metres. Bye-bye. Get a chance, no problem. Other great wingers like Arjen Robben, they're going to run at you. They're going to come for you. You can't stop these guys. I like those kind of profile of wingers. So Fatawu is such a joy. He's still a bit rough around the edges, but his attitude, his infectious, his defensive work rate. Do you remember it's unbelievable how many headers he wins at the back, How many headers he wins at the back. The guy wants to defend. He's always there helping out, and then he's got the energy to get forward again. So it's early days. We're only giving him a little 15 minutes, so I don't think we're going to see him too early in the season. I think we'll start the season with Casey down the right.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting
I'm okay about that, I think...
Yeah, Casey will do a good job.
I think he's done well this pre-season. I think he's really stepped up.
He looked sharp.
Yeah.
He has. It was like a couple of good finishes.
Top corner.
Goals are starting to come from Casey, and it could be like McTominay kind of transformation, a guy who's starting to add more and more goals to his game, use that pace, use that power, he's always on it, Casey. He's always trying. His work rate's always good. He's a great understudy to Abdul for sure. But it's nice to have the options of both at the moment. And we look strong in an attacking sense. I know we've still got an issue with a striker, of course.
Yeah.
And I've already got the two solutions to those. I've found the guys that we should get.
Go on.
And I'm always banging the drum. There's a guy at Bournemouth just bought the guy in February.
Okay.
From their sister club, Lorient, who got promoted from League 2. They won League 2. This guy was the top scorer in League 2 France last season. I think he got 20-something. He's 19. He cost them 15 million quid. But there's a question mark whether they're going to play him because they've got Evan Nilsson and others at the moment. So are they going to have him for a bench player, or will they loan him out to let him have game experience and adapt to England? If the latter, I would get this kid in. His name's Eli Junior Krupi.
Okay.
You're gonna hear that name. You will hear that name very, very shortly. If he doesn't come out on loan, you'll see him in the Premier League this year. He'll come on for a little half an hour burst. Watch him. Eli Junior Krupi. I like the look of this kid a lot. And the one we've been linked with, well, not been linked with, but we should be linked with, the obvious one, is Mark Gui from Chelsea.
I'll agree. Yeah.
And he's 19 or 20. Loan player. He's their fourth choice striker as it stands. They've just signed Delap. They've still got Jackson as it stands, and they've just signed João Pedro as well. So this guy is not going to get game time. I think they licked him from Barcelona for about 6 million quid, I think. He's a Barcelona system player. Martí Cifuentes grew up on Barcelona systems and players. They both speak Catalan. They both speak Spanish. They both speak English.
Yeah.
Leicester City's got the best training ground in the Championship. You might say some Premier Leagues might come in. Some lower Leeds might come in for him or something.
Leicester's they're willing to loan him out.
They did. They won't sell him, but they'll loan him.
Yeah.
They'll loan him. Well, do you know what? Why not loan him for a year? He's good enough to get you up. And then we've got 100 million quid and Daka's out the door. So we've got loads of wages and a big fat transfer fee. We could go out there and spend big money on a striker, a super kid. A brilliant 20-year-old striker out there we could find. That sounds good. Or even if Mark Gui still can't get a game at Chelsea and he loves it at Leicester, maybe he goes, I want to stay here. Crazy things have happened. So I would rather than signing... I've seen some crazy names. Like
James, how old are we?
Josh Sargent or something.
How are we doing, mate? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you.
I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, cool. Right, James, Manny James.
How are we doing? You all good?
Good, thank you.
Good.
James, I'm going to ask you about.
Tell what, James, wait, James, pause.
Go on, what you got? You bring
You've got it.
Go on,
Look at that. Great minds think alike, huh?
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Look at that.
Road manager. James, what's your thoughts on transfers this season? Do you think we could like go more loan basis in getting a striker in? Like Manny talks about the Chelsea young striker, and then save our money for like if we do get promoted.
Well,
and go spend money nicely.
I'm kind of glad that we didn't get that Windass that's gone to Wrexham now. I'm kind of glad that didn't happen. And to be fair, all the talk's been about is a new goalkeeper. Like we've been interested in Begovic, the fella from Leeds United as well.
Jesus Christ!
I know, yeah.
Crazy that's a shocker.
That is a shocker.
You can get Josh Sargent.
No, avoid that's another shocker. Josh Sargent.
It's going to cost us 20 million quid.
And
Rip
today,
off.
obviously we've been linked with Ortega as well from Man City.
I tell you what, let's talk about him actually. Ortega. I was going to bring him up last, but we'll talk about him now while you're on. What's your thoughts on Ortega? He's 31. Is he 31 or 32, Manny Ortega?
Does it matter? 30 something.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, does it?
About 31, 32. Right. Man City want him out the door. Well, he will leave Man City now. What's his name's coming? The James Trafford. Ederson will be the number one still, I'd assume anyway. But
yeah.
What's your thoughts on Ortega? I mean, Leicester's stance at the minute with Hermanson. He is expected to leave Leicester this summer transfer window, but he might not, even if teams don't want to pay the money for him, James, to be fair. So, Stolarczyk, everyone wants him to be the number one man.
Definitely.
The thing is, for Leicester, do you think he's sort of looking, Cifuentes, as about an all-round keeper, not just somebody who's good at shot stopping? Do you think it's about sweeper keeper and all that? He wants everyone.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think Mads Emerson, I think he'll probably be gone. I've heard obviously West Ham are after him, so I think he's pretty much he hasn't pretty much gone, but you'd think he would be gone. But I'd probably have to say, I'd be happy with Ortega. I think that would be quite a good signing.
He'd want to be number one though, wouldn't he? He wouldn't want to be.
He would. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Like.
It's the wages structure, though, isn't it?
I do like Jakub. I think he's a decent goalkeeper as well. You know, he made a few good saves, obviously in the Cologne game today. But as I said, I don't know.
I think good planet Earth, to be fair.
What do you think?
I like Stolarczyk. I think he's a good shot stopper. He commands his area.
Yeah.
His distribution, though, is questionable. But then how many goalkeepers have we said that about, even how good they actually are? You know, the kicking's not a consistent point. Mads is the better keeper, in my opinion. Part of the injury from last season, he's the better keeper when fit. But Mads is your all-round goalkeeper. He's your man, your sweeper keeper. He can do everything that Enzo Maresca asks from him, and this is how Marty wants to play him. So, it's a tough one with how much we're actually going to get for Mads. 25, 30 million max. If West Ham are willing to pay it, fantastic. If they're not, then you're stuck with him because there's no other team interested apart from West Ham at this minute in time. So,
that's it.
I want to jump in on that bit.
Go on.
I'd play hardball over Mads myself.
You would?
I'd play hardball. Multiple reasons for that.
Go on.
One, stick your PSR up your ass is bullshit anyway. Right, first. Second, you don't tell me that I have to sell my players at fire sale prices, right? I'll decide what price is. He's on a 3-year deal. He's got 3 years left, sorry. Yeah. So even if we kept him for 1 year and we get back promoted, what is he worth as a keeper that got promoted twice and he's back in the Premier League, still 2 years under contract? Remember, he was being touted at 35 to 45 a year ago.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? If you want to have the attitude, we absolutely desperately need the money through the door, I would say this guy, I have total faith in his ability to go to the top. Good keeper is worth his weight in gold. You've just seen James Trafford going for 27 million. He's better than James Trafford. So 27 million is just a starting point of any conversation. You know, you're going to have to offer me what I want. And if you don't offer it, I'll keep him. Because we're going to come up. And I want him for the Premier League anyway. He'd be my first choice. So that would be I would say to West Ham or anyone else. That's what I would say. If he does go, then I would say Jakob has earned his spot. Yeah. He's earned the right to be here. He's a young lad that's been here since he was 16. You know, it's what a kick in the balls to give his spot to someone else when Jakob's done well in the Premier League. Every time Jakob's been called up, he's never let the team down. Jakob deserves that starting spot as soon as Mads leaves. So I think any keeper that you're going to sign is just a backup. It's a Mark Schwarzer keeper. You know, he's just there to, you know, maybe give you a few words of advice. If there's an emergency and both of you are injured, then he'll come on and do a job for maximum a handful of games a season, nothing more than that. But we should not be signing anybody who's going to want a lot of wages because we don't expect them to play.
Ortega's on a bit though, isn't he?
He's a decent player. For a start, it seems a bit weird that he would leave Man City to come down to the Championship unless he's guaranteed a starting spot. If he's guaranteed a starting spot, Jakob's back on the bench, and I don't think that's fair on Jakob, to be honest.
I don't think so. I think he's only over the last season, and he's never really put forward. It's like the penalty today. He saved the penalty fantastically well. It's just the players ain't quick enough for the follow-up. But, Clibber, what's your thoughts on what Robin said here? Do you think Leicester need the system that needs a sweeper keeper, or what's your stance on everything?
I'm a massive, massive Jakob fan. Yeah, I think the guy commands. He's just very commanding, and I think what that does, it breeds confidence in your defence.
He didn't have none of that today. He was shouting left, right, and centre.
I'm going to disagree with you all.
He made a good save. They had a header. He made a good save, didn't he?
Yeah,
Jakob did today.
He's a brave to the trenches goalkeeper. His kicking, I think I've seen better, but I've also seen worse. The thing with Mads, what I've seen since he came back, whatever the reason, might have been brought back too soon, but average at best.
Fair enough.
That's my issue with holding out, because if that injury, let's face it, he's not played a minute in pre-season. If that injury is something that's serious, take the 25 million. It's a big profit. Get rid, because I'm telling you now, I want Jakob as number one this season. I don't want Mads. Well, that's not to say that he wasn't amazing before, but since his injury, and you're only as good as your last game. It doesn't matter what anyone says. That's facts. That's not opinion.
Clibber, who's playing with an injury. That was the problem. That's why his performance has dropped off, because he should have had surgery in January, but they asked him to carry on playing through it. So when you've got a constant niggle, you cannot perform. So it looks like you're playing badly out of form. He needed that. Look, I'm convinced. Give Mads 10 games, you will see the old Mads, and eventually you'll see an even higher level Mads as he gets older and experiences. He's 25, 26. He's still got 10, 12 years of professional football ahead of him. I wouldn't get too worried about the first injury being too much of a problem, but you can't. It's not totally fair to assess him
25
when you're not 100% right. He's playing with injury.
But we make exceptions for players. We've done it. We do it with all players, but we make exceptions. Where Mads is concerned is that we don't know the extent of that injury. And it worries me that he's not played a minute, even at this point, and that worries me going forward. Now, I understand what you say, Manny, and I agree with you. If he definitely played when he shouldn't have played, but for him not to play a minute in the pre-season already.
And then the flip side of that is someone like David Gold is going to turn around and say exactly what you just said and say, look, We have question marks over his injury. You're saying to me that he's playing through an injury, but he's not played in pre-season, and they'll just use that as a bargaining chip to knock the price down even further. They will try and bend you over and say, look, he was 35, but with all these question marks, you need the money. We'll only offer you 20. That's just not how I would like to do business.
You mean David Sullivan?
Yeah, of course. Sorry, David Gold passed away. Apologies, David Sullivan.
I would
David
take
Sullivan.
25 though. I mean, you obviously disagree, Manny.
I just think he has the potential to be a £50 million plus keeper.
Well, how much did we get him for? I think it was like 6 million, wasn't it? Five. Yeah, Bromby.
We went also summer.
I think it's important not to. We're going to argue about pricing, I guess, but I think you can't undersell your stars as well. You need to get them for max value.
Yeah.
You need to get that money. That extra 10, 15 million quid, you can do a lot with. And if you have that mindset that, look, Levy does it, doesn't he? Every time he got tough negotiation. He got 25 million out of us for Skip. He got 10 million out of us and 90 grand a week out for Winks. We get bent over often. Why don't we start bending over some people for a start?
The problem is we can't get rid of the high earners, and that's the problem. We're going to have to do it.
So let's not. The high earners, yes, will have to take a hit. Like you can't play hardball over Yannick Vestergaard or Winks or Cody. You can't over those. But those are not. But our best players, you can do. You can say, like the best players, I don't want to lose. Whereas these guys, you do want to lose. There's a big difference. Like you wouldn't want. Same with Bilal, right? Same with Jeremy Monga one day. Jeremy Monga to me is on the path to being £100 million plus footballer one day. So I would not be selling him for 30, 40 today, even though you might think 30, 40 million quid's a lot of money. I think there's way more down the line coming, and you have to somehow, you can grow with these assets in the short term. And we're 12 months away from the Premier League. 12 months away, even with a points deduction. And these players, their value will just skyrocket if they're young and doing damage in the Premier League in particular.
What's your thoughts on what Planet Earth said, James, there about the promotion is paramount if Skolosic gets injured? What then Borsa? I mean, Borsa's he's not at the level at the minute, is he?
No, definitely not. I mean, that's obviously go back to Hermansen. I think what we asking for, like 30, 35 million, that sort of price.
35 last summer, so they'd won in the region of that again.
It just shows you like how footballers come now. Like it's mental to think like N'Golo Kante went for that sort of money.
Yeah.
Like, to Chelsea, 30 million. 30, yeah. We were stupid enough to do that. We could have got so much money for N'Golo Kante. He was
another 100 plus player. 100 plus player.
People will only players are only worth what people will pay.
Yeah.
Or what you can convince them to play, Clivo.
You don't want to be ripped off, though, do you, for Hermansen?
There is that. Yeah, I agree.
They want a season alone with an obligation to buy, don't they, West Ham?
Coutinho, 140 million. Anthony, 110 million. Griezmann, 110 million. Jack Grealish, 100 million pounds. Harry Maguire, 80 million pounds. Paul Pogba, 90 million pounds.
I agree,
when somebody wants your asset and they want to demonstrate to their fans that we mean business, you can get extortionate fees at times.
Of course.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. I think we'll finish mid-table this season, I reckon.
Is it depending on how big the points deduction is?
Well, this is it. Yeah, this is what's going to bite us in the arse, I reckon. I mean, I'd love to say playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a great achievement if we get playoffs this season.
I think it's expected. I do.
It is. Promotion is the key for that.
Come on, James. Who took the jab out of your donut?
I know.
Go on, James. A bit more positivity.
I know. I'm trying, man.
All because of that Vestergaard performance today. Come on. Let's not knock his spirit.
I can't see us being anywhere near mid-table. Can't see it.
I think we'll be in the top 6.
What do you reckon?
We'll be pissing the top 6.
Yeah.
We'll be pissing the top
I don't
six.
think we'll walk all over the league.
Look at the difference between third and sixth
league.
last year was about 25 odd points, was it? So I'm sure somebody will check the
I'd
table.
go into the bloody mental unit if that happened and we finished mid-table this season. It'd be like bloody how things ended last season in the Prem.
I think it's a bit more competitive this time, definitely.
Which teams would you say? Hold on, let's pause on that. Go on, James. Which teams are going to be competitive then?
Ipswich.
Who we beat last season with Ruud van Nistelrooy and Steve Cooper in charge.
I think Ipswich will be up there. Obviously, I think Southampton, Sheffield United.
Who we beat last year twice in 2 games and finished about 10 points ahead of them as well last season.
Honestly, I'd love us to finish in the top 6.
We'll cruise top 6. That's not a problem. The only question is will the points deduction be enough to stop us from getting in top 2? That's the only question.
Yeah.
It's a question. It's automatic if it's playoffs. So the worst case scenario is third.
Yeah. It is.
I'd take that.
Expectation this season's promotion with the squad that we've got. Yeah, we should be hammering and towing this league this season.
I think Mavadini, Monga, and Fatawu are the best 3 attacking players in the league.
Well, we're not short of wingers, are we?
Arguably the very best 3 players in the league.
We've got the same squad from last time, apart from Dewsbury Hall and Jamie Vardy.
Plus Monga.
We just need a striker. And we're good to
Ben Nelson will be an absolute colossus in this league this season.
He's quality.
Yeah, he is good.
Southampton podcast blokes. They probably are.
Way too good for this league, Ben Nelson.
Yeah.
Caleb Okoli will cruise this league, not a problem. Even players like James Justin will cruise this league, not a problem. Ricardo will cruise this league. We have so many players who are way too good for this.
Jack, let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Let me ask you all of you a question.
Go on then.
So, with a points deduction, let's say 9 points, because that seems to be what's being bandied around.
Then they'll appeal it.
If you could guarantee third place right now, press the button, yes, would you?
Yeah.
I'd take it, yeah.
I wouldn't.
Nope.
Really?
No.
Because I know we'll get in playoffs.
Correct.
And I know we'll get playoffs.
Correct. Go on, Clevo. That's right. We're definitely going to get playoffs, so don't worry about that.
I did say top 2 and someone called me deluded.
Playoffs is a lottery, though, isn't it? Like,
mate, if we played Coventry in the playoff final,
we win it.
We should. The only caveat is in a one-off game. We played Chelsea in a cup final. They won the Champions League a week later.
Yeah,
we still beat them on that one-off game. Crystal Palace just played Man City. I mean, who should win on paper?
I think top 2 is a must with the squad that we've got.
Well, it all depends on the deduction, doesn't it?
Yeah, if it's minus 20 or minus 30, I'd say no chance.
A lot will depend on Ipswich and Southampton, because if those two, I mean, Will Still's a bright appointment for Ipswich. For Southampton. So he's no daft manager, and obviously McKenna's done a
going though. I need to restart the football again, so it's going to take him time.
Those boys are going to have to start chasing. I think last year, check the top 3. I'm sure it was like 100 and mid-90s, wasn't it? Something like that. I think our team should be looking at 90 plus points, which should get you top 3.
Yeah.
Just imagine if that was the playoff final though, Coventry, Leicester. That'd be mental.
I mean, for some people are trying to say like it's the best way to go up. You get the extra game, so you make extra money. You get a trip to Wembley, and you get to go up with that feel good factor in a one-off game. Obviously, it can go tits up the other wrong way, right? If we lose that game, what a disaster. But there is a bit of me that says, quite fancy going to Wembley, watching us spank Cov or somebody else. Do you know what? Us against Wrexham or Birmingham in the playoff final.
If you've ever been to a playoff final where you've lost, it is the dirtiest feeling.
It's all team.
You've all been to a playoff final when you've lost, have you?
Yeah.
You, Manny?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, need to pull their finger.
That trip home is a dirty feat. You feel absolutely mugged. Horrible.
Do you agree with that, Clibo? What Odd Fisher said?
Commission needs to pull their finger out and tell us what the point.
When do you think?
Well, yes, I do. I do actually, because
do you
it's
want
like
it
with
to
all these
start
things.
middle or halfway off, like a bit on the way through? When would you?
Part of me thinks it'd be better in sort of like at Christmas time, because I don't know how young lads are going to react to getting the 9 points initially. If we start to play well from the off, we're on a level playing field and we're just gathering points. There's less of that kind of, that's in the background. They'll take us, but if we're playing well, whereas if you're starting on a 9 point deduction, it's harder, I think.
I don't know, Clever. Like, if you have the right mentality and the right team spirit, it gives you that us against the world mentality that United used to have. And sometimes it can galvanise the squad, so everybody hates us, the whole league's against us, they're trying to screw us. If I was Marty Cifuentes, it's the easiest team talk in the world. They're trying to shaft us. Now go out there and show them that we are not going to be shafted. Go out there and get those 9 points, bang, bang, bang. And 3 games in, bang, 4, 5, 6 games, we're already in the mix. And suddenly, that 9 points, we're 5 points off the top. It's all gone. I'm seriously, I think we've got the best team in the league, right? Objectively, we've got the best team in the league. Now, I don't know what Southampton are going to do, Ipswich are going to do. Ipswich have lost the lap. Make no mistake. This is an Ipswich team that finished 3 points below us last season, have now lost one of their key players, just like we're going to lose key players too. The difference is, we have these superstar new signings, effectively, in Jeremy Monga, who's worth an absolute fortune in the open market. We've got Fatawi back from injury. What a player to bring back to your squad. And you still couldn't beat us last season. So I'm supremely confident.
How many wins this season? I'll tell you what, we'll go 46 wins.
No. What you will, the word will be volatile. You'll see
the first time ever.
You'll see more volatility under Cifuentes than we saw under Enzo.
True.
You won't see the consistency of performance. I think under Enzo we won 27 of our first 30. I think it was in the Championship. I don't think we'll see anything like that. You'll see but you might see like something more streaky, like 6 wins in a row, 2 defeats in a row, 6 wins in a row, that kind of thing. Because we are going to be playing higher risk, high octane football, so you're probably going to get a few more odd, weird results. But at times we'll put some teams to the sword.
Yeah, we're not going to win 46 out of 46. It's impossible, isn't it?
But the worst case scenario, again, I think playoffs. You cannot stop Jeremy Monga, you cannot stop Fatawu, and you cannot stop Mavididi either. Not in this league.
That's the mentality you want to have, though, isn't it? Players.
You haven't even you mentioned Jordan Ayew yet. Like, I think he's going to play a big part.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's going to play a really big part this season, Jordan Ayew. I think
we have, and it's all relative.
So much experience.
Yeah.
Who else has got that kind of firepower? Who else? Tell me someone else. Give me a front 3 or 4 who's got that kind of firepower.
It's frightening. If you look at Mavididi, Bilal, and Fatua, or Monga, Bilal,
look
Fatua.
at the pace, the energy.
Mavididi up front. Imagine that front 4. I mean, it's frightening in that league.
Yeah,
it'll be. It's. I suppose the one thing under Enzo, sometimes winning was a bit boring because you're like, this opposition's naff. They're rubbish. Like This is like taking candy off a baby. This is too easy at times. You want to have a bit of a challenge. But
as well.
It's just, I want to see players like Lewis Page. Because we're going to have this points deduction, it might give you a freedom to say, we don't have the expectation of the top 2, and we're comfortable in the playoffs because there's a 25-point spread between 3rd and 6th. So you've got more games you can afford to drop points in. So you can take more risk in your team selection and maybe give Lewis Page a handful more games than you otherwise would, because you don't need the results as badly as you would have done if you didn't have a points deduction and you were going for those top 2. So
bigger squad because of the age.
How weird is this, boys, though? Do we all agree that we don't actually need to sign too many players?
No, we don't. I've said it many times to Clibbo. I mean, Clibbo said it. We said about 1 or 2. We never put like a 4 or 5 now. I said about 1 or 2.
A goalkeeper, definitely.
A striker's must. That's
and
the
a
first
striker.
one.
Yeah, them two positions.
If Mads goes,
A
you need
goalkeeper and a striker.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't
I'm
need
very,
too
I'm
many-
delighted that we all have that attitude because,
Yeah.
well, I think Winks is in his last year, Daka's in his last year, Vestergaard will only have a year left at the end of this year.
Ricardo.
Ricardo, a lot of these guys, the old legacy high earners will move on. We will have ammo in the Premier League to spend. We can actually go to the Premier League and throw down 150 million quid and give it a whopping good go.
Saving's going to help us. There's
Well, so
for a lot on a striker.
the less we spend this summer, the more we can spend next summer.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
we should be very, very careful about what we actually need. I don't think we need too much.
The first
I
game,
agree.
mate. It's only 2 weeks, mate. How quick's this bloody last 8 weeks gone since bloody Bournemouth away? Since the season's ended.
Well, it's got my excitement though, because I mean, Reece will tell you, at the end of last season, I was really football depressed, and I said, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. And I think mainly it was just because of the
everything that was
behind
going on.
the scenes crap.
Yeah.
I just couldn't bear how like loyal fans. I mean, Christ, Reece has been going down. You've been going down 22 year, 23 year.
Mm.
You know, massive. He's hugely loyal, and like yourself, Jack. And I just thought it was really shit how the club had treated you, particularly. And it really just took me. But all of a sudden, I've just got this buzz. There's just something I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I think a lot to do with it is the likes of Monga. You know, Evans, Page, and I just think to myself, you know, if they were just kind of on the fringes and it was going to be a season of just consolidation, maybe I'd still feel that same. But I'm genuinely excited by what I've seen so far in terms of them getting to grips with systems a lot quicker than I think the older players have, and I think that was evident and on show in the second game today.
Manny, what's your thoughts on what Robin said?
I think he's bang on in an ideal world. If we had money to spend, for example, if you really wanted to make the squad to fill in the gaps, you need a left-footed centre back. Would give you balance. Somebody who can ping a diagonal across to Abdul. That's a profile. Somebody who's quite quick in that area would be good. You definitely have a problem at left-back area if you want to play a back four. I don't think VK or Luke Thomas are our long-term solutions. That's something else we could look at too.
He's got left-right contract.
We've never replaced KDH, a left-footed 8 player who's got an engine to go back and forward. We don't have that left footer at all in the squad, so that's something you would look to too. But maybe Lewis Page is that left footer who's coming into the squad. So, do you want to buy someone and hinder Lewis Page? I'd probably leave that one. Do I want to buy a left-footed centre back and hinder Aluko? No.
We've already got the market already on it, so
a striker and a keeper. I would say a striker and a keeper, and that's it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We've got the best lawyer one of the best lawyers in football.
It won't be
Manchester
50.
City even use him, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Surely we can't get away with it again, though.
If we got away with it this time, Jesus Christ, man.
We won't.
What the hell do we even do to Leicester at this point?
Take the hit. Let's have enough of these like kicking it down the line and delaying the pain or everybody hating us. Just take the hit. We'll suck it up.
Yeah.
We have got magic players coming through our youth. These kids, whether it's this season or worst case the following season, these boys will be unstoppable for the levels that you're playing against. If we're just patient and believe in the process, just give these kids time to do it at their own pace, not to be too pushy on them. Be easy with people like Abdul as well. Let's not. I love Abdul. I want to see him so badly, but the worst thing is for him to break down and be out for 3 months again. Like, we just do not want that. So just be very, very careful about making sure everybody's fit and strong. But essentially, all the old guard, they can all go. Take Skip with you. We don't need many other players. We don't even need to replace those guys. They can all go. We don't need to replace you. Get all those wages off your books. Start saving money now. Let's get up. Then we get to the Premier League. We'll have 150 million quid where we can add 3, 4, 5 £30 million super kids, and
Leeds
we'll go back to what we used to do and start competing for Europe again.
They did score 95. Leeds. They stormed the league last year. Well, it looked like it, didn't it, for a certain extent of that season last season. With the
That you know what that says, right? Leeds sold 100 million quid's worth of players. They sold what? Rutter for 40. Somerville, and they sold another player. Like, oh, what's the Archie Gray?
Yeah.
They sold 100 million quid's worth of players and got more points the season afterwards than before.
Yeah.
Now that tells me that the league must be rubbish. I'm sorry to all the other clubs. I feel for the other clubs because they have. It's not anything against those clubs. It's just their budgets are tiny. They can't match our parachute payments. They would dream of having players like ours. It's just too expensive. So we have such an advantage coming down at the Premier League. That's why you're seeing, unfortunately, a bit of a yo-yo. 3 teams going up, 3 teams going down. Usually it's the same kind of teams now.
I'm in agreement. Reece, what's your thoughts on everything we've discussed? I don't know how far you've been like around the chat, but what do you want to pick up on? Anything you want to discuss?
Well, I wanted to thank Manny earlier. I was on Leicester Till I Die, and Chris brought up a comment, and he was saying Owen Palmer-Atkin was saying Samare is technically good, and all the panel said that's absolute bollocks, but I was the only one that agreed with it, and Manny backed me up. So I wanted to ask you: is Samare technically good?
That's Clibbo.
Clibbo, we're not going to ask Clibbo because we know what he's doing. We're not going to go over it again.
Just remember,
pass it on that one. We've
had this chat today.
They got angry about it.
back me up here, Manny. Back me up.
James, what's your thoughts?
Sorry, say that again. You broke up.
What's your thoughts on Samare? Is it because you see little glimpses of excellence at some games, and then you think this guy can actually do something, then all of a sudden he'll go missing for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's it.
Gets into training. Apparently he's a really good player in training. I'm just like, well, what are you doing in the bloody match days, mate? It's like you can't be bothered.
Yeah, he can't. That's it. He can't be bothered. He doesn't give a shit.
Or does he not fit this? Or does he not fit the system?
I don't know. Well, I can't see him being sold for how much he's on. What is it? 90 grand a week.
80 grand a week.
80 grand a week. It's not going to happen.
No one's going to pay that for a last year of a contract.
No. You're best off sticking him out on loan to somewhere.
I mean, he did well at Sevilla, but then they didn't want to buy him because of the wage point.
The wages are too high.
Wages are too high.
I think it's a bit different. I look at it differently, right? I think when I look at play, I think on your best day, what can you do? And on his best day, Booba does things that Skip cannot do.
Exactly.
So now the question becomes, how can you get that consistency being as close to your best as possible? And that's the problem we've struggled with.
Yeah.
He'll have a good few games. He goes missing for 8 games. He fancies it. He doesn't fancy it. I don't think it's necessarily sort of laziness as such, but more, like, it's going to sound a bit harsh, but it's just French mentality. Sometimes you fancy it. Sometimes you don't fancy it. And when I grew up, the French were nowhere really as a football nation. They were going through a bit of a dip after Clibbo will know Tigana, Gires, Platini era, and they had a great team in mid-80s, and then they had a big dip. That's French. You are good enough to win everything on your day, and when you don't fancy it, you're good enough to bowl it all. And I'm a big rugby fan, and French have always been like that in rugby. They can beat New Zealand on their best day, but then tank to nobody on their worst day. And it's about getting inside the player's head and trying to get him on side and get him motivated. Yeah. Now, I think the right manager still could get this player to be motivated, and you'll, in the right environment, the right situation, you could see a very good player. Now, if you don't, on the flip side, if you can't do that, then you're like, is he even bothering trying? He just looks like he's standing there at times.
Do you think Marty will get the best out of him?
That's what
I think Marty has that kind of intense personality. He's able to speak multiple languages, including French. It's very important. You've got to be able to communicate with them in their mother tongue. right? It's hard to get detailed. You're trying to get inside this guy's head. You're learning about his mind, his family, his friends, what he does on the weekend, what motivates this guy. Is he sitting up playing PlayStation till 4 a.m? Is that the bloody problem? You're trying to learn every little detail about, get the most out of the guy in front of you. And the fact that you can speak his language is a huge advantage. You know, you're going to be able to understand him in a way that other people cannot. So Marty's also a very intense personality. You can see the way he talks to the camera, talks in an interview. It's quick, it's thoughtful, it's smart, it's clear. I would hope to think that he could. The alternative is you could have Oliver Skip, where you don't really need to talk to the guy, because you know his work effort and the rest of it supposedly will be good. Although I think half the time he's a lazy fucker on the pitch. I do think that at times. I think it's just you assume that English players are going to have a good attitude. But yeah, I'm sure he does in training. He turns up on time, does his work, never a problem. But there's a problem on the bloody pitch because you're out of position, or you didn't see the danger, or other things, or you're not strong enough to stop them, or you can't carry the ball forward like Booba can do. So the bottom line is, Booba is a better footballer, but he's just not a better footballer often enough. You see what I mean?
Technically.
So
There's
I
not-
think
There's not another
it's
mid.
down to the manager.
Yeah, there's not another midfielder in that squad that can do what he can do in terms of technical ability. In terms of technical ability on the ball, he's our best midfielder, and I stand by that. But it's
He's the
unfortunate.
best trainer at the training ground.
Well,
The guy won the French league at 22. Don't forget, he won the French league.
And he was a midfielder that season.
You don't win a league if you're a lazy fuck.
No.
Right? So it's about getting inside his head, making him believe in the project. Does he want it? Does he want to be here? The problem is, he only came here because we offered him a big fat salary. That was the problem.
Manny, do you think he's better? Do you think he's better as a deep line playmaker, or do you think he's better as an advanced eight?
I think in order for him to progress, he needs to transition to the advanced eight because he's athletic. But in order to do that, you have to have a high work rate. And high work rate is his bloody problem. So people put him deeper because they think you don't have to work as hard, you don't have to cover as much ground, so maybe that'll suit him more. I think you've got to challenge him as an individual. Like, look, option A, you try and improve. If you want to improve, we'll try you more advanced. If you don't fancy it, go somewhere else. That's it.
Yeah,
go for broke. Either get the best out of this guy or let him go.
I've got many Spanish friends, many. They all live in various parts of Spain. And the one common denominator of them all is they're not, you won't win an argument with them, one, and they're not tolerant for bullshit.
Yeah.
So I can't
one of them, isn't it? I think.
I can't see for a minute how on earth he would turn Marty's head. I genuinely don't.
Marty's smart enough as well.
I will say this now. Out of all the midfielders, he is our most talented.
He is.
Yes.
But he's the last person I'd put on my team sheet.
At peak, do you remember the goal away against Ipswich, the late equaliser from
Yeah,
oh my God.
with them two players on the floor.
They were like prime Yaya Toure.
Okay, that on his best day, that's what he can do.
Yeah, that's what you want to see next season.
But you can't
Can't
have players like that who turn up once every 6 games
You need
to do
consistency.
Agreed.
So
He
I
needs
think,
to get that more.
but because he's proven consistent enough to win a league previously, it shows he's got it in the locker. The problem is, it's a motivation thing. Like sometimes when someone's paying you $80,000 a week, it's harder to get out of bed because I've got the money I wanted. I've got the dream. I never have to work again post football in my life. No matter what I've said, no matter what anybody says, I signed a piece of paper that says I was going to get $80,000 a week for 5 years. That's £4 million a year, 5 years, 20 million quid. You'll walk away with £10 million. I've just earned £10 million no matter what, plus sponsorship and whatever else I'm going to get. For some people, it'll be, oh, wow, I'm so grateful. What unbelievable. Thank you so much. I'm going to work every day to justify that £10 million that you're going to give me. For some people, it's like, I got the money. Thank you, sweet. You know what? I'm going to chill. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to relax. Maybe I will have that mayonnaise on that burger. Maybe I'll go for an extra patty on my burger. Maybe I will have the milkshake instead of having the water. It's psychologically, people are different. So this is where when you sign a player, you got to be careful not to give them too much money. If you give them too much money, it can spoil them, just like kids. You got to find that fine balance between making them feel appreciated and giving them a bit extra to get them here, but not too much that there's a danger that they might get sidetracked with what the dangers of that money can bring you.
Agreed.
I agree. I think Mark,
I agree.
See him play under Cloughie.
Well, Cloughie was zero tolerance for that kind of stuff, wasn't he? No prima donnas. It brings you straight down to earth. Fergie was the same.
This one might be Marty as a bit of.
It's going to sound harsh, right? When players start doing stuff like dyeing their hair, get worried. Start getting worried. Yeah. Like, I'm not. That alone is not enough, but that is the sign of they're starting to worry about the way that they look rather than the way that they perform.
And that's Fergie. He wouldn't stick with that. He wouldn't have that either.
No.
And that he was the last of them, I think.
Red flag. That one.
You play
red flag.
Simple.
Yeah. You Paul Pogba.
Remember when Riyad dyed his hair blonde, and he was still amazing. Oh, that was brilliant to watch. He dyed his hair completely blonde.
He was a big fish in a small pond.
It's young players like Anthony, isn't it? Like, he comes over to Manchester, he's on 300 grand a week. He's hit the jackpot, right? He's hit the jackpot. Now, he's a Brazil international. He should go out there and think, 300 grand a week. I've hit the life jackpot. Let's go out there and show these boys amazing what I can do. Or you can go, hey, if I go down the club on a Wednesday night, I've got a guaranteed threesome coming. Maybe I'll be a bit late for training. It all depends. There's a lot of temptations out there. It's not easy for young players. Remember, these are emotionally immature beings. They've probably only lived away from their parents for 2-3 years. You give a kid, 20, 21 years old, you give me 20 years old, 300 grand a week. Mate, it's going downhill really quickly. It's going to go downhill really quickly.
Going down quickly.
Right, boys. I want to talk to you about the home kit. Let's have a look at it. What's everyone's thoughts? We've been waiting for these bloody kits, like bloody no tomorrow, haven't we, to know what they want to look like, what the sponsor's going to be. I'm going to go around the table. Well, it's not a table; it's a little square that we're in. But yeah, I'm going to ask the comments as well what the thoughts are on the kit. I want you to rate it. Clibbo, thoughts on the home kit? Obviously, it reminds me of a bit of a 1920 kit / 23-24 kit. The 23-24 of the collar, and then the 1920 regarding the arm sleeve type of thing. But I'm not sure what they've done with the pattern type. I don't know where that part comes from. But what's your thoughts on the home kit and which sponsor should go on it?
I think when I initially saw the leak, I didn't like it at all.
Okay.
I would prefer the gold to be white. It does remind me, I don't know why, it gives me Chelsea vibes. It's not as bad without the sponsor on it. But in order for that shirt to look really good, it needs a nice sponsor. But out of the three kits, the second kit just looks like it looks like slime or vomit on a shirt. I can't. That's vibe. That is ridiculous. Shit. Awful shirt. The pink one, I'm proper on board with that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough. Clibbo, what sponsor should go on it then? If you had to pick a sponsor, which is a normal sponsor, not none of these dodgy sponsors, what are you going for?
Do you know what I'd love? I'd really love the sponsor to be Walkers again.
Oh, I think it'd go well actually if that actually came a thing.
I'd love it to be Walkers again. Leicester.
Proper Leicester, innit? Make a proper shirt.
Leicester-based company.
Manny, what about you?
About the shirt?
Yeah, the shirt and what sponsor?
Well, as regards the shirt, I'd say Beauty is simplicity itself. So I quite like things to be quite simple and plain, and some might say a bit boring. So the less convoluted, the more I'm going to like it. And so when it's not got a sponsor on looking like that, I love that kind of stuff. Right up my street. Nice and simple and clean. Not too many things to look at. Not too many weird little patterns or designs. Keep it simple. Keep it elegant. That's why I like a lot of the old kits, to be honest. In regards to sponsor, well, if you could choose any company in the world that you like, then I'm going to pick a kit. One of my favourite kits is the team that we're playing next week. And if I come to the Fiorentina game, I'll wear my Fiorentina shirt. Because I bought a Fiorentina shirt because I love the striker and I love the sponsor. Anyone name the sponsor of Fiorentina in the mid-90s? Come on, Clemo.
7-Up.
No.
Nintendo.
Boom.
Oh,
James.
wow.
Bingo.
Batistuta.
Batistuita's the shirt I've
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
Batistuta 9 Nintendo. What a combination of brilliant player, brilliant shirt, brilliant sponsor, brilliant team. Fiorentina in that time. So I've always liked Nintendo, right? Since I was a kid, I was at university, before I was a young man. I love the brand. My kids love Mario the movie when we went to the cinema to see it. They've all bought into it too. So also, my wife loves playing. On her honeymoon, all she wanted to do, unfortunately, is play the Nintendo 3DS. Believe it or not, I'm in Japan. I'm in Tokyo, and she just wants to play Mario Kart all the time.
I've not get the Atari, mate.
The Atari was good. Asteroids.
It was the best.
But I would love to see Nintendo for 1 year or a few years, and I think all the kids around the world would love it as well. And it sort of matches the youthful new vibe of Leicester City.
James, what's your thoughts on the kit?
You know what? I actually quite like it without the sponsor.
Fair enough.
And I quite like it because it's like when Barcelona didn't have a sponsor. They didn't have a sponsor in the 90s or anything like that.
I don't think they had a sponsor for 125 years.
Yeah. No, that's it. And it looked so retro. But if I had to say like a sponsor, obviously Walker's, or what you say, Pucker Pies.
Pucker Pies is good.
Yeah.
Pucker Pies is good.
I think you mentioned it earlier on, Jack, and I agree with you.
What's your go-to Pucker?
Steak and kidney me.
Chicken and mushroom boring me.
Is it the chicken tikka?
Chicken bolty ain't bad, is it?
Yeah, bolty, that's it. Yeah, bolty. That's it. Chicken bolty.
I like that. I used to like it when Next used to sponsor Tigers as well, because they were a sort of local brand too. I like that
steak
connection.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we could, I don't know, what other else? We could have TJ's. TJ's could sponsor Leicester City. Do a decent burger.
Well, look at Preston. What are they? Spud Bros.
Spud Bros, yeah.
Yeah.
Irish menswear have gone out of business, haven't they? They're not there anymore. Sad. What other Leicester businesses are prominent?
Tops Tiles.
We've had the Tops Tiles. Tops Tiles. That to me is that's like League One. Sorry, Tops Tiles, but that feels a bit League One, doesn't it?
In Mark's Electric, Leicester as well.
Mark's Electric, yeah.
Mark's Electrical, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's got to be some fun, interesting sponsors out there. But to be honest,
with a football shirt.
What do you reckon, Jack? What do you think, Jack?
Do you know what? Right, I like Pucker Pies. I think it'd be great on the shirt. I think Walker's would be great on the shirt. Retro sponsors are fantastic. I think that'd suit that shirt massively.
We should do a secondary line of shirts just for any sponsor that wants to stick their name on it.
Yeah, we should. And then
because I think everybody would buy a Walker shirt, to be honest.
Of course they would.
Oh yeah.
King Power maybe could go back on the shirt. It worked before. Would it work again?
I'd prefer King Power to some random company I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also live in the real world and understand in the real world, you whore yourself out to the highest bidder. And that's how it works. And as long as they, aren't companies doing some really, really dodgy shenanigans involving covering up mystery files or stuff like that. As long as you're not involved in anything too nefarious, then show me the money.
Agreed. I like the shirt, to be fair. I've looked at it again. Where is it?
Sponsored by Bonnie Blue.
Yeah, we're definitely in having
Leicester City, sponsored by OnlyFans.
Tell you what, it kept the players excited, wouldn't it? No, I like the shirt. I don't know about the collar on it, to be fair, though. I just think...
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you got a good point there.
It's the collar that...
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Interesting.
I like the... I'm a basic man. I don't like it being too much done to it. It's like the away show last season, the black one, where it had like the pink and orange like thing going over it, like a paint sort of whatever it was. I didn't like that. Like I like to keep it basic. If you do too much on a shirt, it'll ruin it.
That green kit is absolutely vile.
I don't know if that's going to be the kit. To be fair, they've not said anything.
What the mint green one that we had
The
a couple of
Matrix
seasons.
one.
The one that looks like the Matrix kit.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I think it's great.
It's something
great.
different. It's something
You
different.
would.
It's a different kit.
Well, you wouldn't because you're boring, Uncle Clibbo.
You've got an alarming lapse in taste.
What's your thoughts, Reese?
What on the kit on the home kit?
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the home and away?
Well,
two that's come
Well,
out.
the pink one's fucking. I think the pink one's better than the last pink one we had. Personally,
You think the
I like
stripe
the-
suits it, though?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Here's
Really
what I
like
should
it.
do. If I was a club, I'd put out an AI or a similar bit of software where all fans can design their own shirts.
Yeah.
You can design your own shirt, you can have it made for a premium cost, and you can submit it as a design. We have a massive vote online about which shirt we like. Top 3 wins it.
You can't do it though, Manny. Adidas put standard shirts out.
Adidas ain't like that, are they?
Then at least have them do it like a 4th choice fans shirt.
Yeah,
Vote
that's a
for
good
the
one.
fans.
I would
Another
say-
way to monetize, another shirt that people might buy. I would love to design my own shirt for Leicester City and say, look, this is how I would like it. And I'd probably waste far too many hours on some kind of piece of software online, faffing about with colours and stripes and collars and whatever else. It'd be a lot of fun.
a yellow.
I love the red. I love the red away shirt. I love was it the Iron Coupe red shirt? I love that. And I
Indie
bought-
Coupe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Red Bull? Was it Red? Not Red
Yes,
Bull.
John Ball.
John Bull.
John
Yeah,
Ball.
and I
Bloody
bought
hell, take
the
it back here.
King Power one as well.
Would a yellow away kit would have been bad? Obviously, it represents the badge. Obviously, the badge is yellow, blue, and white. I mean, a second like kit in yellow wouldn't have been too bad, would it?
Go. Yellow's good, but do you know what I love? But I can't buy them because my wife's Dutch, right? Her family are Feyenoord fans.
Yeah.
But the Bob Marley Ajax kit was absolutely
I've got it.
brilliant. I absolutely
Okay,
love
the wardrobe, let's have a
It's got the
look.
one with Ziggo. It's got Ziggo on the front.
Yeah, that one. I've got
I
that
love
one. That's
that.
decent, that
I
is.
love that design. I think
Yeah.
it's magic, like a Calypso shirt.
Their kits are great, though, aren't they?
Love that.
Every year they smash it out of the park.
That to me is a fantastic kit. I'm an old sucker. I love the old '86 Maradona shirt as well. I love him. The blue and white stripes had.
Just as a precursor to what me and Reece are going to do, just tell him who's the greatest player out of Maradona and Messi.
Maradona, my friend. Best player I've ever seen. No doubt in my mind.
Apart from
Look at the smug look on his face.
He's right.
Yeah.
Reece, I've seen all of Messi, and I saw most of Maradona, but you can't underestimate the quality of the pitches. Excuse me, I'm eating at the same time. Bad. The pitches were horrible. The defences were ridiculous. Watch the Butcher of Bilbao game. These guys were double footing you at knee level, waist level. That's what they were doing. This guy got kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked and kicked relentlessly. but just got up and did it over again. And the 86 team, there's a video on YouTube called the highest level football's ever been played, and it's a compilation of Maradona in 86. Factor in the pitches, factor in the heat, and factor in there's a lot of other brilliant players around the world. But whenever you listen to any other brilliant players, especially the ones who've seen them all, most of the ones who saw Maradona will still say Maradona. It was freakish what this guy could do with his left foot. Freakish.
I just missed Maradona. To be fair, I was 89, but yeah, from what people say, like, it's a quality player.
The best. He had a brilliant quote once when he was coming to England. He said, "People could argue, am I the best or Pele was the best?"
Man,
I'd say
Fiorentina shirt. Where's it at?
Oh, it's in the wardrobe. I can't be bothered to get it now. I've worn it a few times on BTG. I've worn it on BTG, and I'll wear it a few more times as well. Maradona came up with this quote. He said, "People talk about Pele or me. Did Pele do it on a diet of cocaine and hookers?" And I just thought, I laughed my head off when I heard that. Because the guy didn't bother training. He was training from like a Thursday onwards. And he would still turn up on the weekend and win you the league. It's just, who does that? No one can do that. He can do that. Listen to things like Gary Lineker or Zola or Cruyff or Mateus or Glenn Hoddle as Planet Earth. Listen to all of them speak about Maradona, and they will all say the same thing. This is nothing we've ever seen before or since.
Well, make sure you tune in Tuesday night, 9 p.m, because I'm going to absolutely trump Uncle Clibbo with some unexpected arguments.
Here comes the debate.
Prepared.
Clibbo, I'll give you some ammo and clips. I've got some good
never
clips.
debated anyone like me.
You need to get your research.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Get them bloody programs.
You're about to wish you'd never agreed to this.
Get them all videotapes.
Oh no, I've agreed to it for fucking 20.
There's no family love when you're going to debate me. I'll tell you.
I don't want no family love. I want to absolutely rip you to pieces, mate. Rip your new arsehole.
I'm laughing. R9
as well. R9 wasn't far too far.
He was incredible for that.
He was ridiculous when he was
Madrid.
particularly but I like the younger one. I like the Barcelona one actually.
Yeah,
he didn't play there for too long, but just when they got him from PSV, he was bagging in 40 a season, like a goal plus a game. But it was just it was so fast. It was so direct. The quality of the finishing. He was like the best. He was like the best of Van Basten, but at a higher speed. It was just ridiculous.
He was
Do you
my
remember
favourite player.
Zico, 82 Brazil. Zico, Socrates, Alemão, Falcao, great team. Josimar, I think Branco was the left back. He was bloody good as well. Branco, I think it was.
Good memory there, man.
Careca. Do you remember Careca was their striker?
Socrates, what a player.
Socrates, a great player.
Brazil.
Great name as well. Great name. That was the best team to never win the World Cup was 82 Brazil. Yeah, hell of a team.
Look at Roberto Carlos.
What's your first World Cup memory? What's your first... I'd like to ask you that, Jack. And I'd like to ask all of you, what's the first World Cup you remember? That you bought the sticker book for and you remember watching it?
Go on, I'll go first. 2002.
I'd say 2002.
Yeah, 2002. I can remember when I was about 4 years old watching...
Blimey, you're 4, Jesus.
I was 4 years old. And I can remember sitting in my lounge. No, I weren't sitting in my lounge. I was at the pub with Grandad and Mum. And we watched England lose 2-1 with Ronaldinho scoring one of the most ridiculous goals I've ever seen in my life. And I went home crying like a little baby. That's my first World Cup memory.
Bloody typical.
Hey.
Mine was, I'll jump in and say summer of 86, FA Cup final was Liverpool-Everton, 3-1. Gary Lineker scored the first, Ian Rush scored the last. I think Ian Rush hit the camera with the last, Craig Johnston scored. Brilliant cup final.
That was
Ronaldinho. The 86 World Cup was it was absolutely bloody brilliant. The music, the different atmospheres, the fans, like the Azteca had 110,000 people.
Worst day 1994 Diana Ross penalty.
Yeah, that was funny. Great World Cup. Maradona again. Do you know what? Italian 90 was something else as well. What a World Cup that was. Roberto Baggio, Toto Scalacci, Georgie Hadji, Enzo Schifo, David Platt with that goal, Gaza, Mateus,
Roger
Maradona, Khadija, Roger Mia. Oh, Roger Mia.
Do you know what?
Higuita.
You know, it actually makes me laugh now. Kids of these days just play the football game and they don't actually remember these players. They'll just watch them of what they are on like the cards, ratings, and that. I think this guy's a fantastic player. To watch him in person, he's got to be even better. It's like Roberto Carlos, a very good player. That guy could shoot from anywhere and score. Best free kick taker of all time.
The best free kick ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he can still hit a ball hard to this day. And I'm thinking, mate, how old are you? It's like they did like a challenge with him, you know, like where you had to put it through 5 different white things and get it to the end. He absolutely whacked it. Got it all
I'm
the
pretty
way
sure I've seen him score a volley from near the corner flag.
Is that good?
He scored.
Yeah.
He scored a volley from near the corner flag. Imagine that.
Madness.
Yeah.
Imagine, get that in your head. He's near the corner flag. Yes, the corner flag. He wallops this volley with a bit of outside swerve, and it rockets in the top corner of the far end. It's ridiculous.
Sunderland scoring the winner against
Ridiculous.
I watched
James.
I watched a Bobby Robson. I don't know if it was an interview or a documentary, and they were talking about the Germany semi-final. And he said to Gaza, "You're going to be marking Lothar Matthäus," and he went, "I'm not marking him. He's marking me." It's just fucking class.
Yeah, you're
hearing
that. The best summer I can remember of football was Euro '96. The country was absolutely buzzing that summer. Everybody was happy. There was like no robberies. There was no problems. There was no crime. Everybody was just going football crazy. Gaza was on fire. We just spanked Holland 4-1, which is probably the best English performance I can still remember, the 4-1 whooping of that Dutch team. It's just a shame. That semi-final, we deserved to win that. And that Gaza, Darren Anderton hit the post, and then we always tanked at penalties, didn't we? Germans again.
That's probably the first tournament I remember, Euro 96. I would have been probably about 7 at the time, and yeah, Southgate, you just couldn't believe he missed that penalty.
So another tournament he's cost us.
The
run-up.
3 he's blown now.
It is.
I'm 1970. That's the one I remember. Argentina.
Oh, with Mario Kempes. That team,
Yeah.
Mario Kempes. Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa.
Ricky Villa. Yeah.
Ricky Villa, yeah. Ricky Villa.
Boys.
Maradona should have made that squad as like a 16 or 17-year-old, but for political reasons, they wouldn't put him in.
Really?
He was yeah, that's true. And like Ronaldinho went to the World Cup when he was like 17 as well. They used to take these superstar kids that they knew were going to be the next big thing, and they would bring him on for the experience to like give him a bit, even though they thought they're not going to play. And Maradona, apparently there was they used to have a military junta in charge at the time, and there was political reasons why they didn't pick him, and they picked some of the military junta's old favourites.
Almost progressive, that, isn't it?
Imagine that. You could have Keir Starmer choosing some of the players for the England squad.
Well, God.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
It could be fun. Depending on who you support.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, look, in those days, football was different, but it's when you're a kid, you feel the same, whether it's 86, 96, 2006. You always feel those sort of early eras are amazing footballs, but there were some great games. Like I remember England-Cameroon was a really good game, went to extra time. Do you remember that one? England-Belgium, 1990 with David Platt.
Yes.
This is some brilliant games.
Equaliser.
Rolling back the years.
Brilliant games. If you guys have watched David Platt against Belgium, what a volley that is.
It was. I can remember it like it was yesterday, and I remember the couch I was sitting on. I remember the decorations in my house, how my parents had got the house decorated, everything. And I remember him scoring that goal, and I had a drink of tea in my hand, and I jumped. The tea went everywhere. My old man nearly kicked my ass. And
Good old Grimper.
it was just like, I think the whole house went up. Yeah, amazing feeling that. He was a good striker, David Platt.
Good player. He went to Bari from Villa for $5.5 million, which was a world record at the time, I think. He very briefly held the world record. Well, very close to it, if not the world record. But yeah, brilliant player.
We've seen some exceptional players.
David Platt was England captain as well.
Yeah, we have seen exceptional players, and this is what bugs me about the England setup. It's still run by the old brigade in the FA, and it still stinks of playing players because they've got a name and not because they fit into the system.
We've been live for nearly 2.5 hours. We've gone from Leicester.
I've got 5 minutes, guys, before I've got to skedaddle.
Yeah, we'll shoot off in about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But we, even though we had great players in those eras, like all kinds of people like Chris Waddle, Peter Beardsley, real John Barnes, really good players, Gaza onwards and then on to Scholes and Gerrards and Lampards and the rest of it, Rooney's. This era today is relatively as good as, if not better, than the other teams, because Jude Bellingham is as good as anything out there. You're going to see Trent Alexander-Arnold is as good as a right back as there is out there. We've got some serious talent, and at the very bottom of that English list, Jeremy Monga. Monga will be playing for England within a couple of years.
Let me put something to you. I want to do this before you all go, right? Your Leicester City 5-a-side, right? You can only choose 5 players in whatever era you want to go with, whatever player you've watched throughout the years or whatever years you want to put in. You can put any player in there. James, your Leicester City 5-a-side, you can have 1 goalkeeper. You can have 2 defenders if you want 2 defenders, 1 midfielder, 1 striker, or you can have 2 midfielders, 1 defender, 1 striker, whichever way you want to go with it.
Right.
Get your 5-a-side Leicester side.
Right, I know. So in goal, I'd probably have Kasper Schmeichel, and then your back 2 would be Matty Elliott.
Yeah.
Wes Morgan.
Fair enough.
And then in the middle, it's so, I don't know, it's tough. I'd probably go Mahrez and Kante, and then Vardy up front.
Would that side even score, Liam, mate, or what? I never said the worst.
That wouldn't even get the bench, would it?
I don't even think that I'd make it past the bloody League 2, mate. What about you, Reese? What you got?
Shilton in goal. Matty Elliott, centre half, because he's a good defender and a good footballer. And Golo in the middle with Neil Lennon. Actually, that's not very creative, is it? So I'll probably have N'Golo and Riyadh. And it'll be a bit controversial here, but because he was such a clinical finisher, and yes, I have seen enough in my history books to know he was a top-class striker, Gary Lineker.
Well, I think I'm going to go with players I've actually watched rather than players I haven't.
Fair enough.
Schmeichel in goal all day. I've watched enough, seen him when he first started to how it ended. Defender, do I go Wes Morgan or Steve Walsh? I tell you what, I'm going to go Walsh here. I've watched Walsh, so I'm going to go with that. Muzzy, is it, or Kante? Oh, dearie me. See, I think Muzzy is it with the greatest Leicester player of all time before Jamie Vardy. So I'm very much going to go with Muzzy. I'm sorry, N'Golo, because I want to stick Riyadh in there. So I don't want to have 2 centre midfielders. And I'm going to go Jamie Vardy over Heskey. What about you, Clibber?
Peter Shilton is my favourite goalkeeper of all time. I have seen him play. I'm going to have to go Matt Elliott. because
Kante,
not only
Morris.
can he defend, you can stick him up front as well. If you're 1-0 down and a 5-a-side, he's getting you a goal. I'm probably gonna go Morgan by
I
side.
love Muzzy Moo's my all-time fave.
I'm gonna go Muzzy. So that's 4.
Barrios. Jesus, how far would that team move?
Christ's sake, that's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna go Muzzy. I think in terms of a player, and again, I've seen all these players. I would have to say Gary Lineker. It was just different gravy. Maybe not so much for Leicester because he was early in his career, but Gary Lineker, different gravy. Still, I mean, like imagine how much he would cost you now.
A lot. They were good at Barcelona actually and Everton.
Just amazing.
Did he win the FA Cup for Everton in his first season? He went there.
No.
No,
He only stayed there. He only stayed there for one
year.
season.
It was
Yeah, he was only there for one season, then he went to Barcelona.
He scored nearly 40, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think he scored like 35, 36 that season, then left.
Did they win a trophy afterwards?
They lost the FA Cup final. They won the league in '85, so they won the league the year before he came.
Yeah, that was it. That's what I was going to
And
say.
then I think they were runners up in the year that he was there, and they were runners up in the FA Cup as well. I think
they lost the '86 final 3-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah,
Ward,
that's right.
Fast, Morey, Skip Daka. Bloody, I don't even think I'd leave the conference if I'm honest with you.
Now, there's two different ways of looking at the question. If it's the best player I've ever seen in that position play for us, then I've got a really unpopular shout for centre-back. Because I think the best centre-back I've ever seen in a Leicester City shirt is Wesley Fofana. I've never seen a better centre-back in my life at Leicester than Wesley Fofana. I know the fans hate him, but for 2 seasons, he was almost as good as Kante was, but as a centre-back. I thought he was absolutely unreal. Yeah. Absolutely unreal. That's how... shame with that injury. We're talking about pre-season. It was Villarreal, wasn't
it?
Yeah.
If that day hadn't happened, that guy was heading to be the best centre-back on earth.
But Matt, playing against my team, Matt Elliott would beat him to death.
But Matt Elliott is my favourite centre-back at Leicester City because I completely agree with Clebo, and I was there when he scored the 2 against Tranmere in the cup final, and the guy was, and I've met him, and I've done a radio show with him once away at Madrid, and he's a top bloke as well, as well as being a brilliant player. He's an actual, like, honestly, I'd love to have a night out with him. It would be a lot of fun. Him and Tags, that's a cracking night out. That is. Instead of doing dinners, we should just do nights out with Tags and Elliot. Yeah. And just go out the lash with them for one evening. You are gonna get into some trouble. But he was a brilliant player. I think he scored one year. I'm gonna say the year was 0001. I think he scored 15 goals in all competitions that season. 15.
Yeah.
I think he got 15. I remember once it was like Boxing Day or close to Christmas around then. We were in emergency. We were playing away at Goodison, and they stuck him up front. He scored 2. It was the live Sky game.
He did a little bit of magic with his
He did a Cruyff 10. He did a Cruyff 10 and scored in the box. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
We're all like,
our 6'5" emergency strikers doing Cruyff 10 and scoring. What is going on? I'll dig that up. It's Matty Elliott versus Everton. It's definitely Everton away.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch that. It's class.
How can a centre-back be doing Cruyff 10s in the box?
Yeah.
And scoring as well with it. It's like, do you remember how Robson Carnu did one for Wales?
Oh, yeah, against Belgium.
Against Belgium.
In the Euros.
And everyone was like, what? That guy just did what? It was one of those moments like, this guy is taking...
Go on, Manny, what's your team then? What's your team, Manny?
If we include favourites, Kasper, Elliot, Kante, Muzzy. It's got to be Vards.
I agree.
How can
Fair enough.
I would argue with. I loved Heskey, and I played against Emil for a couple of months in a summer league, and we used to have a chat about Batistuta actually, weirdly, and fantasy football of the '94 World Cup. He's an absolutely lovely kid. He used to run rings around me, but I always had a soft spot for him because for about two and a half, well, basically until we sold him to Liverpool.
Yeah.
On his day, he was brutal, unplayable. You could get the biggest, nastiest centre back around, and he would bully them. As an 18-year-old, he would bully them, before he filled out like he did at Liverpool, became more of a target man. He was rapid, he was quick as well. But when he was quite skinny, he was really quick. When he got into a monster of a giant, he lost a lot of his speed. But I think his first season at Liverpool. If you watch that first season at Liverpool, he scored like 20, 25 goals for him.
He did, yeah.
It's absolutely unstoppable. Again, unstoppable. When he had his speed, he was truly sensational footballer.
Agreed. Right, boys, we're gonna bring the show to an end. Appreciate all the chat. Appreciate the panel. Appreciate the chat of everyone getting involved. Jack, Planet Earth, Nathaniel, Robin, Ben. Love it as always. James, thanks for making an appearance, mate.
No problem, mate.
Appreciate it.
Been good. It's been good. It's been good to speak to you all. And take care all.
See you later, mate.
Cheers,
See
James.
you later, mate.
Race, just before I leave you, Maradona, mate, better than Messi. Sorry, Clivo's right. Better.
Not a chance. No.
Better. What? I'll try and find some compilation, but you don't look at the obvious goals and stuff. Watch things like training videos. Watch him when he was like 19, 20, 21, before the drugs and the booze and the late nights and all of that kicked in. I tell you what, when he was 18, 19 to 20, 25, 26, before he started to put the weight on, he was a joke.
He was fat when he did that to England.
He was yeah.
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
Well, thanks for that, Manny, because I'll use that argument against Uncle Clibbo.
You can't.
Yes, I can.
He will use the longevity argument and say Maradona did it for a short period, Messi did it for a higher period.
I already know what his arguments are.
To be fair, this is the beauty of the point. Both of you are right. But the two ways of looking at it is, if everybody had their very best game that they could ever have, who wins on that day? That's the way I would take it. And if it's a one-off match against some alien force for the survival of the planet Earth, and you could choose every player at their very best day ever, Maradona's best day is better than anyone else's best day.
It really is.
That's how I
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Put it. But yeah, look, that's the beauty of football, isn't it? Where if someone says Messi, you've got such an unbelievable case, particularly with the volume of goals. Ridiculous. Like you've got who scores 85, 90 a season. But if you want to go down that road, then you have to throw Pele in because he's got like 1,200 goals. But then you factor in the quality of the opposition, or you factor in the quality of your teammates. The other thing is Messi's always had superb players around him. Maradona could do it with a bag of shit around him.
There we go. We'll leave it at that.
Anyway, don't start me off because I'll get off for Clipper. But you know what? I'll be looking forward to the chat, so it'll be a good debate, I'm sure.
Appreciate it. Cheers coming on.
Cheers, lads.
See you later, mate. See you, mate.
Reese, all the best, mate.
Pleasure. Cheers as always, mate.
All the best in your argument with Uncle Clibbo. But
it'll be good. Like I say, football's about opinions. I've got my opinion. He's got his opinion, but I'll always respect his opinion.
We'll see what happens.
I'm the same. Even though I'm right.
Clibbo, all the best in your battle against your nephew. But yeah, hopefully the best man wins. But yeah,
if he wins, I'll just kick his head in next time I see him.
That's all right. Yeah, I'll leave you to do it. Cheers, Clibbo.
Take it easy.
That is it from me then. Really appreciate everyone coming in. Like I say, Jack, Planet Earth, Clibbo, Reese, James, Manny, Hit like button if you enjoyed this stream. Subscribe to the channel if you know you haven't subscribed already. Get down and do so. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll be back with more of the late night whistle again very soon. And I'll catch you soon. Keep it at the final whistle.